23 when things got bad. I said it at the end of 23. He should have been fired. I said after last year, I still don't trust him because it's not him, it's the coordinators. And once again,
My apologies. My apologies. YouTube just went live. A little bit of a bug, but we're going
wow,
on Nick Sirianni. So go ahead. Go ahead,
yeah,
Brandon.
yeah. So for those that missed it, we are doing an Eagles rant because this is just important tonight. Especially after what we just witnessed. Well, what
Yeah, we
eyeballs
just
and
went
witnessed.
through what Sirianni said. You can find it online, obviously. So Brandon,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
So the problem that I'm well, not even the problem it all stems this whole team being like this stems from pretty much him. Um, because any year where if you look at the second half of 21, all of 22, and all of 24, the reason why those teams were good was not him. He did not call plays. He did not have any say in the offense whatsoever. Turned it over to more experienced play callers who eventually did their job and got them to either a Super Bowl or got them to the playoffs in the case of 21 when the season looked like it was over. Then you get to the other two seasons, 23 and this year. He has a bigger say in picking the offensive coordinator, and then in 23 picking both, which was awful. But this year, once again, picking the offensive coordinator, both years, offense is garbage. Offense does not show up for most of the game. Offense only plays maybe one quarter every game. Quarter and a half if we're lucky. One half if we're feeling really frisky. And then just nothing else. This year they lead the league in 3-and-outs. Um, and then every week we hear the same things in press conferences. I just want the guy to be angry for once. How can you look at this and not be angry? Is my response to him. Like, you got to show some fire. Show that you care. Because saying this crap every week and being the same monotone, same explanations, same answers to every question. And listen, I don't care.
We'll reevaluate everything in the mini buy as we always do. Reevaluate what? You're not even practicing. It
They've
feels like.
they've been reevaluating since week 2. I've heard the same thing since week 2 this year. What the hell are you reevaluating at this point? This team sucks. What are you reevaluating? It's week 13. There is no reevaluating. This is who you are, and this leads me into speaking of press conferences today. This leads me into the Jalen Hurts quote. Now, usually Jalen's undefeated in press conferences. Usually Jalen has the right thing to say, but and Jalen took accountability for how bad he played today, and I'll get into that in a second because this was the first game where he actually looked terrible. But he said that this team is trying to find their identity. Jalen, it's week 13. What are you talking about? It's week 13. If you don't have an identity by now, you're not going to do anything come playoff time if you even make it there at this point.
Uh, I'm also
So
going to quickly say another thing on "I'm Like a Bird," which, as we established, is basically an Eagles song. "I'm Like a Bird" is a lot about identity.
yeah, yeah, it is. And like but that's really how it is. Like if we heard it after the Dallas loss. We heard it after this loss. They keep bringing up the word identity. Do you even know what that means at this point? Or no, well, of course they don't because they don't know how to do anything else in this organization right now. So it just doesn't make sense. If you're still saying identity, identity, identity by week 13, the season's over. If you're still using that word by week 13, hell, if you're still using that word by week 7, the season's over. So you should know who you are about 6 weeks in, and you should be playing like a confident team by about 8 weeks in. There's no reason by week 13 you're still saying that we're still trying to find our identity. That's bullcrap. So that tells me right there, there's no reason for me to watch the rest of the season. If you were still searching for identity by week 13, the whole team sucks. Move on to next year. Done. Uh, but then here's where I will defend Jalen today. I thought when fans turned on Carson Wentz in 2020, that was more deserved, obviously, in the long run. But they turned on him after one bad game. This is Jalen Hurts' first really bad game all season long. I'm tired of this fan base treating the best quarterback in our franchise's history like a goddamn leper. I'm tired of it. I don't know how many more weeks I can say this. If you really believe that he is like, I saw so many comments after today's game that got, of course, it got amplified because of how bad he played, one bad game, saying to put in Tanner McKee. Is Tanner McKee really going to fix the O-line problems, Saquon sucking, and bad play calling? No. So what are we doing here? Like, you're telling me that you have no faith in a quarterback that, as a rookie, as a rookie starter, led the team to the playoffs in 21, made a Super Bowl in 22, and was runner up for MVP that season, which I thought he should have won MVP. 23 had a good season despite bad play calling, still got to the playoffs, which was not his fault down the stretch of why they collapsed. 24 gets a Super Bowl, wins Super Bowl MVP, and has a great performance in both the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. And this year is having a career year in completion percentage, passer rating, touchdown interception ratio, and most touchdown passes of his career. And you're telling me he's the problem? Really? He's the problem? That's what we're doing here in Philadelphia? After one bad game, he's the problem. Really? Okay, sure. Tells me how much ball you know. I'm tired of having to defend him. I'm not blindly defending him. It's just I'm tired of stupid Eagles fans whose IQ is below 20. I'm tired of a third grade. I'm tired of people with a third grade reading level on social media thinking that they know more football than I do, or that any of us do that actually are on this show. I'm tired of that garbage. So, so I'll let that go. Two more things I'm going to hit because I want Scoop to get in his points, which are probably going to be similar to mine. Two more things I'm going to hit real quick. I said it a couple weeks ago. I'm going to say it again. As much as I used to love the play, as much as I defended it for as long as I could, ban the touch push. It's done. It's not helping the team anymore. We're turning the ball over too much. They can't officiate it, and we're not even picking up first downs with it anymore. So that play's done. It's over. Get rid of it. I've had enough. It's actually been a detriment to the team the last half of this season so far that it has been.
I would make an argument that it's been a detriment to the quality of play across the NFL.
It's like, listen, I used to like the play. But the problem is that there's too much over reliance on it from this offense now. On third and 1 and 4th and 1, the fact that you can't call another play in that entire playbook that can get you 1 yard for a first down when you have A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley, and Tank Bigsby for that matter, who actually leads the league in yards per carry. The fact that you cannot call another play in that playbook to get a first down because you're not confident in it tells me everything I need to know about that offense and about that play. That's the only thing that you have confidence in. That's pretty pathetic. And at this point, with how closely they're officiating this play, and now I almost expect failure every time I watch this play. Them line up. It used to be automatic. From 2022 to last year, it was automatic. Now all of a sudden this year, because everything else is so bad, and because there's the whole, now it's under a microscope every 2 seconds that this play is ran, it's not helping the team anymore. It's hurting them now more than it's helping them. So I'm done with the play. Banned it. It's over. And the last thing I will say, this is why I'm going to set this up for Scoop, because I know Scoop's going to talk about this. I can't believe that nobody is blame. I'm not saying to blame the defense. I'm saying to blame the run defense. That is the worst run defense performance in Eagles history. It is the worst run defense performance in 50 years. They have not allowed that kind of yardage to one running back, let alone two, since 1973. That's the last time something like this happened. So I don't care that they gave the Eagles offense a couple stops and whatever it was to get the ball back. They did. But here's the problem. The Bears, because they ran the ball for that many yards, even if they didn't score, they still bled the clock and led the time. They doubled the time of possession on Philadelphia. That never happens. The Bears had 39 minutes of possession. The Eagles had 20. The Eagles only had the ball for a third of the game. 2/3 was the Bears' ball. That's how bad the run defense was, because Caleb Williams didn't do anything today. Caleb Williams, another game where he throws around 50% passing. He didn't beat you with his arm. They beat you because you couldn't stop. It didn't matter what run play they called. It could have been a jet sweep. It could have been a halfback draw. It could have been a misdirection, a cutback. It didn't matter what they called. When every time the running back touched the ball for the Bears, there was nobody past the line of scrimmage. There was nobody in that Eagles defense anywhere near the ball carrier. Every play was 8, 9, 10-yard game. Every single one. I think they maybe stopped the run maybe 2 or 3 times. Maybe. Out of how many times they ran it, God knows how many. So, I mean, listen, there's so many more problems, and I want to get to them all, but I don't want to run over Scoop. So, Scoop, go off of what I said. Go.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I'm sorry. Where do I begin? First and foremost, but I will start with what you said about the run defense, because I think a lot of us, validly so, have defended Vic Fangio most of the season. I think he's been one of the best assistant coaches the Eagles have had in recent memory.
Mm-hmm.
But calling a spade, especially when it was not you, it was Chicago that was out virtually all their linebackers today. The fact that it was you that got ran all over when you should have been able to do vice versa, is just malpractice to the nth degree. The fact that, the list gets even longer now. The people who have come out and said publicly that the Eagles are far too predictable and far too basic when it comes to play calling. We've heard Howard Cosell. We've heard this, that, and the other. And now we can add today former Eagle Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who went out publicly after the game and said we pretty much knew what they were going to do when they knew what they were going to do.
And I'll repeat, Scoop, as Brandon has repeated before, you can literally tell on television. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Once again, I saw it. I was watching from my aunt and uncle's house, and the game was on, and I don't remember what it was, but we had gotten one positive play, and I could just tell. I was saying, this is going to be an inside zone. It's going to go freaking nowhere because they're going to jam it into a third string center's ass, and that's exactly what happened. And and just the fact that, as I go upon stats, the Eagles. We talked about just the run defense. The Eagles allowed 692 yards this year on downfield play action passes, and Chicago has thrown for 579 yards on those same passes, which is 5th in the NFL.
Chicago's a play action offense.
Well, that's the next thing I was going to say. That's what I was going to say is, how the hell?
That's what we used to be.
With the time that you had, how the hell were you not able to scheme up a better thing with your years and decades of experience, Vic Fangio and your assistants? How the hell were you not able to draw up anything better against what you know is a quarterback and a head coach that are going to bring, even if we don't like Caleb Williams, you know that at least Ben Johnson's going to throw every trick in the book at you. You know that. And someone caught
which is why they have 9 wins. Ben Johnson.
That's the only reason they have 9 wins. And somebody, I want to say it was Greg Olson. Somebody caught this before the game. Philly at the end of the game was throwing into the wind because Chicago won the toss and took the ball. They were able to basically say, or they literally looked at the weather patterns as they were going to come up the rest of the game and strategize based on that, at least according to his perception of it. So I don't know if that's 100% true, but it tracks.
It seems highly likely. It makes a lot of sense.
It tracks. And that's why, again, we talk about some of these young, intelligent coaches, and I thought for a period of time that that's what we had in Philadelphia. But looking at now Sorry, Shane, were you trying to say something?
I was just going to say really quickly, that's a real thing. I know this from experience. We as coaches genuinely look at the weather forecast, and the wind direction, and determine if we win the toss, which direction we're going to go. Sorry, not if we win the toss. If we
basically, this is grammar school stuff that Philly didn't think about.
Nope.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we do this before every game. Like, okay,
right.
We tell the captain we're going to go that way, or whatever.
Right. So
yes,
they were 4 or 5 hours ahead on this thing, and you're going up against, meaning from Chicago's standpoint, you're going up against a detail-oriented, very minute, very intricately planning coach and presumably coaching staff, and you can't think of anything to run other than a tush push and an inside zone that has not worked 89 times. Now that is not an exact number. Let me just add that stipulation. That is not an exact number. But again, looking back at the last 8 games, because the Eagles started out 4-0, right?
It feels like the Yankees, doesn't it?
I don't even want to go there, but
it does.
So the Eagles started out 4-0. Since then, they've gone 4-4 in their last 8 games. Their point differential, they've scored 162 points. They've allowed 161. They have a +1 point differential in the last 8 games. They are the definition of mid, average, whatever you want to say, over the last 8 games. That is 2/3 of the season that's been played so far. They are getting further and further from the Super Bowl, and I didn't want to be. I was one of the last people on this train because I was thinking people who were comparing us to 2023 were, they were being dramatic, they were being reactionary, and this is the team this is still most of the team that just won the Super Bowl. This is going exactly like 2023. Mm-hmm. This is that is exactly what we're watching unfold right now. This is a team that is everything is exactly 500 level over the last 8 games, and in fact, of that 162 points they've scored in the last 8 games, that is inflated by the 38 they dropped on New York's heads that one game.
Yeah.
So you compile all these things together, and quite frankly, I'm really tired of hearing about the injuries because
everybody's hurt too.
Because that's a legitimate thing, but by 5, 6, 7 games into that, again, I've seen Kansas City with a bunch of kids' toys standing at the line of scrimmage, be able to at least get to a Super Bowl, or not Kansas City. I'm sorry, Cincinnati rather. And the fact that I can watch that, and the fact that Philly, who is supposed to be notorious for their ability to draft and develop offensive and defensive line depth, the fact that we can't find something to make it work, and we can't improvise our way to at least patchwork something together a couple times over the last several weeks while we're waiting for these guys to come back, while we're waiting to get Cam Jurgens up to snuff, while we're waiting to get Landon Dickerson back to 100%. All of these things coming together, and I notice I haven't even said the name of the Voldemort of coaching so far because quite frankly there are so many areas that are now. We said for a while that if Philly fired him, then 90% of these things get improved, and I still think there's a good amount of it that's true, but those issues are now wildly getting out. It's turning into a wildfire. It was this little ember that became a bonfire that is now becoming a wildfire that is tearing through the state. And it's getting worse and worse. And what capped it all off for me today, and I'm sorry, I can remember far more times than not where I've defended Coach Sirianni. But the fact that if you go back and listen to what you played, and when he was asked, have you given any thought to this, that, or the other? The fact that he didn't even let him finish the sentence and was that eager to say, we're not making a change at play caller. I'm sorry.
We're not basically he's like, we're not making a change anywhere. That was the gist of it.
Yep.
Yeah. We're not doing anything.
He pretty much said we're going to evaluate everything, and then said we're not going to, and then said without even letting the guy finish the question, we're not going to make a change of play caller. How are you evaluating everything if you're not even entertaining the conversation that maybe a change needs to be made at one of the most obvious places where it does need to be entertained significantly? You literally were hearing "Fire Kevin" chants on the national telecast. You were hearing, and my hearing's not very good, and I heard it just fine. And
And by the way, this game's on national TV. Amazon broadcasted it free all around the world. You guys probably had some nasty ratings.
You know what the worst part is too, and he's saying that and also I've heard a lot of boos in my time from Eagles fans. That was the loudest a crowd has ever booed the Eagles off their own field in Eagles history.
That's something else that we didn't even add, was that this was at home. This was a home game off of a horrific loss on Monday Night Football to your biggest rival. You should have come out today hungrier than you've been since losing to Kansas City in 2023.
Yeah.
And you didn't look hungry at all. You looked like you were still, under tryptophan from Thanksgiving.
Pretty much.
And quite honestly, there's no turkeys in this entire country that got carved up the way that you guys got carved up by the Bears.
Scoop, do you have any more before I go here?
I got plenty, but I got to let somebody else talk.
Okay. Okay.
We can keep going.
Guys, I didn't want to do it, but let's do it. I'm going to read you Philly's schedule. Do they win any of these games? As of right now, do they? Chargers.
No.
I'm gonna say yes to that one.
Okay. Raiders.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both Commanders games.
They should.
I'll say split.
I'll say split. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Nope.
No.
I'm torn on that one. Where is that game?
Buffalo.
I think it is in Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo in the cold.
Then that's a no.
So we're looking at 500 again. 3-3.
Okay, I thought it was 3-2. I miscounted.
Or 3-2, whatever. If it's still close enough. It's
Either
500.
way.
Yeah.
I was teetering on out. I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm honestly fine if we don't even talk about this team the rest of the season. I know you guys don't really want to do that. It's entertaining for the show. I get that.
It's not even. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go. Please go. Please go.
Well, all I was going to say is it's not even that I quote unquote don't want to talk about them, or that I. It's not that I do or don't want to talk about them. It's just that, like I said when I started this all off, 60% of what I was going to say, I've already said every freaking episode.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we are able to identify this, and the people in the room and in the building can't see it or are choosing to. Whatever. I can't tell if it's ignorance or incompetence or a combination, but it's really disheartening because, again, this is in fact, have any of y'all played NBA 2K16?
Yep.
Yes.
Do you guys remember there was that one cutscene where basically the team owner that you were on told Freak that he had to cut Vic Van Veer loose or his career was going to go down the tubes? Yep.
Yes, I do. Not a great story in hindsight, by the way. Really not.
No, but the reason why I bring this up is because Nick Sirianni was about to take off as a career that was going to be one of the most successful in recent memory. But his loyalty undying to Kevin Patullo is going to drag his career right down the tubes if he's not careful.
Yeah, and that actually segues perfectly into my next point. The not changes thing. It's all ego. He picked the staff. He picked the staff. And it's like, and I remember. I think I might have said it on our Super Bowl show last year. I know I said it to Brandon after you guys won the Super Bowl last year. I would 100% still not be surprised if Sirianni gets fired in a year or two.
Yeah,
I said that. I said that. I was like, because I don't think that Super Bowl win was on Sirianni at all. I really don't.
No, yeah,
I really didn't feel that way at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I've said this for years. He is nothing but a glorified cheerleader, and I still believe that. And the thing is, I had a little sliver of hope.
He's an ego. Not only that, he feels like he's an egotistical cheerleader.
But that it's like
his way or the highway.
Yeah, I had a little sliver of hope after watching the team rebound in 21 and 22. But then I realized after 22, I was like, oh, no, that's because of Shane Steichen. And then, because then in 23, we were like, okay, well, Steichen's gone, but this offense should still be good enough to get back to a deep playoff run. Didn't get anywhere near it. Collapsed second half of the season. and hiring within house never works. Shane has said that before, and it's true. You get to 24, hire out of house. Super Bowl title this year, hire in house. Mostly Nick's pick. When there's a more experienced guy on your coaching staff that should be calling plays, that's another problem. It's not like the Eagles didn't have a choice. There's another guy on the staff you could have promoted and you didn't, who has experience at the college level and who's turned water into wine, and you didn't pick him. You picked a guy who has no experience doing anything. Actually, you picked a guy who's been on your staff for the last 4 years who's done absolutely nothing. He was the pass game coordinator, and I don't think no one's noticed this, but in the last few years, passing game has been garbage. Not Jalen Hurts' fault. Jalen Hurts has been accurate. I'm saying the passing game, in terms of the concepts and what they want to do, has been garbage. The design's been garbage. That was Kevin Patullo then. So you hire the guy who has no concept of how to call the pass game, and you make him the OC. How the hell did that go under everyone's nose? How the hell did... Well, I know why Nick did it, because Nick's an idiot. But how did Howie... How did Jeffrey Lurie approve that? How do you approve that? And listen, I understand that
because he won a Super Bowl. That's why you approve it. You're saying you won a Super Bowl. We're going to let you do whatever you want.
You can't be. The thing is, you can't be blind, or you can't be blind because of success, and you can't be full because of your success. Because what's the mantra every time the Eagles make a good run and become an our Super Bowl team? Hungry dogs run faster. We're starving for this. Where's the hunger? You won a Super Bowl and you literally went the opposite direction. There is no more hunger. There is no more drive. There is no more willing to make sacrifices. These guys are so afraid. For some reason, they are so afraid, so uncertain. And it's funny. You even see it in the way, and we called this out today, Robin, watching the game. Guys are hesitating to make plays.
They're not moving. They're not moving.
They're not moving.
Or they're moving the wrong flipping way.
Yeah, I listen. I love Zach Bond. I love Nakobe Dean. That's one of the worst linebacker games I've ever seen in Eagles history. And I watched Nathan Jerry play on my football team a few years ago. And I watched crap linebackers play on this team. But I have no idea what the hell Nakobe Dean was doing today. I have no idea. I really have no idea what Zach Bond was doing today. That guy was nowhere near the football every time it was snapped. And he's hitting the wrong gap every play. So by the time he's actually hitting the wrong gap, the running back's going the complete opposite direction. Bye, gone. So, and then on top of that, he misses another chance, just like in the Dallas game, misses another chance at interception because he reacts too slow to the damn football because you're reading Caleb's eyes, but for some reason you don't move your feet to where his eyes are moving. Doesn't make sense.
He's guessing.
Yeah, he's literally guessing.
These guys are getting like last year. There was no thinking. There was no second guessing. It was see ball, hit ball. See ball, go get ball. See quarterback, go hit him. There was no thinking involved whatsoever. It was,
and that to me tells me that there's a distrust in the coaching staff.
Because there is. Because
another thing I noticed too today, not to cut you off, but it's like as far as defensive problems is, safeties.
Thank you. We were getting to
that. One of the big, as a former safety and current safety coach, I like to pay attention to these things.
Yeah.
But no, it was like I noticed because I will say I didn't watch the game live, but I went back and looked at it afterwards. So, anyways, there were several times where you could see the offensive tackles going forward as opposed to backwards. Because as a safety, the first person you're reading when the play happens is the offensive tackle. Because he will tell you if it's going to be a pass or a run play. If it's a pass play, tackle's going to back up to make a pocket. If it's a run play, the tackle's going to go forward, hit the guy in front of him. Okay. At least like 90% of the time. So I noticed several instances today where the tackle would be, or tackles would be going forward, and the safeties are both still backpedaling like 5-6 yards, as though they're expecting a pass.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. Oh my God.
Well, I mean,
they did talk about those types of miscommunications on the broadcast.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, nobody pays attention to safety, so why would you notice it? But I do because I'm weird.
You're a football fan.
Rob and I saw it today. We saw it.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Shane, do you have any more before I go, or?
Oh no, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, this is the two of the big, and this is why Philly was terrible on run defense today, because the biggest indicator of poor run defense performance is when the linebackers are just standing still and when the safeties aren't reading the tackles. Those two things right there, and they had both of them. Jeez. Because if, as a linebacker, if you are... This happened to my team in week 4 this year. We gave up, like, I think, Robert, you probably remember this. Against
was it against our rival?
The blue and white team, yeah. They ran
By
for,
the way,
they ran for 178 yards on us.
But I will also say, so my location when I do work for our school that we work for with Shane, or I work with Shane on, I am in the end zone. That I'm in the end zone doing the camera work, right? It's such a great view. It's kind of like the Amazon Prime Vision Skycam, which I'll get to, but it's like you can see everything. You can see I know, it's fun. You could see everything, and in that game, the linebackers never moved, safeties never moved. It's just like nobody moved. Everyone just stood. The whole defense felt like it was in quicksand, and I said that
they were guessing.
Just guessing. I was like, bro, this is, and I don't even think that team we played was that good, particularly running the ball. From what I saw, at all, and I was like, okay, yeah.
But that's what we saw today with Philly. It's like the linebackers were just sitting there; they were guessing, and the safeties would see tackles going in pass pro or in run protection, and they're still backpedaling for 2-3 seconds. I'm like, where are you going?
Well,
you know what I mean?
I predicted that was Sidney. I predicted that was Sidney Brown because Sidney Brown's a moron. But you know what's even worse about that? And this is where I figured Rob was going to go with this. We said this during the game. Reed Blankenship is so goddamn slow.
Oh my! Well, I wasn't going to go there, but that's the thing. I got to start watching more games in Skycam because it's awesome. It's such a great view. But though I said this when Amazon first got that contract and they had the Prime Vision cast, because like once I did that like week 1 or week 2 and I started watching it and I never go back. The only time I watch Thursday Night Football and it's not the Prime Vision cast is if the Seahawks are playing, because it's on our local television. So I might as well just watch it there. The worst team to watch in Skycam, probably the case for all 22, but definitely in Skycam, is Philly. It's the worst. It is. You see everything. You see nobody open. You see nobody moving. It's just so. It's literally like, I don't even know if this is the right word. It's inebriating. It puts you to sleep. It's like it's tryptophan watching them in Skycam. It's literally the worst possible thing you can do as a football fan. I can't believe I'm saying this, is watch the Eagles in Skycam. And I'm talking about the last 2-3 years. It's awful. It's just awful. So for Philly, I've been thinking about this heavily. So when did AJ Brown kind of start blabbing his mouth about crap? Like week 6?
When did he?
Oh my god, it was like
I was gonna say
when didn't he? But like this year,
I think it was like by 4 or 5. I think.
Okay, which
was right around the time that they got their first loss.
Yeah, so 4 or 5. So my opinion on this whole thing with the Eagles season has changed drastically, and here's how. AJ Brown should have been traded in the trade deadline without question. He should have been traded. And, by the way, I know the contract is coming. Guess who would have paid it? Raiders. Browns. Get him off. Get him off. Any bottom feeder. Anybody would have taken him. You get a bunch of picks. Maybe you get a nice player. Take the draft capital. Take it. Get him off. You don't need him.
But here's the thing. What are they going to do with that cap hit when the cap hit's $80, $90 million?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Have a team take it. Have a team take it. Have a team like they can do that. Have a team take the money.
Is there really a team dumb enough to do that?
Well, see, that's
the Raiders and the Browns would have done it in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, is Cleveland even able to do that with the dead cap they already have?
I don't even know. But I'm telling you, in the NFL, this is the same in the NBA. Even though the second apron is a fucking mess, which we're not going to get to today, I'll save it for another time. Anybody can be traded for anybody. It doesn't matter. If someone needs to be traded, they will find a way to trade him. Move him. They should have moved him immediately. Secondly, they should have fixed that coaching staff as fast as humanly possible. The fact that they waited this long, like I don't understand why teams, even good teams, 8-4. I don't understand why teams, front offices notice a problem with their roster, not in terms of talent, because we all know the Eagles are the Eagles, but in terms of just locker room environment. Why do you wait till the end of the year? Why do teams do this? You have the trade deadline to make those moves that can help you. You have the ability to move around coaches. With Patullo, I'm telling you what they're going to do with Patullo when if they make any decision, which they won't, is they're going to say, hey, Patullo's still the OC, but we're switching play callers. That's what they're going to do because that's the professional way to do business in the NFL. Regardless, I don't understand why teams do not, like we always talk about how great the front office is in Philly. I don't understand why teams across the board, when you have this much talent, when you have goofballs in the locker room, but whatever, you have plenty of opportunities in late October and early November to make decisions that can get you to the mountaintop.
That's what they should have done.
Why don't you do it?
That's the only,
that's the problem. No,
I agree.
That is the problem.
I agree. I don't agree with the AJ Brown thing. But
and by the way, that's fine. It might be extreme. That's fine.
Well, it's not even just that I think it's extreme. It's that I genuinely believe that if they could have done that, it would have happened. I genuinely believe that behind the scenes they were calling about it and couldn't.
Scoop. I'm sure they were fielding calls. They said publicly they weren't they weren't getting calls. I'm telling you they were. I'm telling you they were. And Scoop, I think you're right. I think there was an offer and a good offer and they just were like, nah, we don't like it. I absolutely agree with you. Because you're not going to take him, you're not going to get rid of him for a 5th round pick. There's no way. So I hear you. But if not AJ, do something with the coaching staff. Do something with the other players.
I agree with something. That. One of the things that I'm thinking, because if we remember, so we go back to February 4th, 2018, they won the first Super Bowl. And then it was 35 months later when they fired Doug Peterson. And it was under very similar circumstances where he didn't want to let a coach go. And he basically was told, you're letting him go or everybody's out. And so what I'm suspecting or believing, whatever term you want to use, my guess is that Sirianni was given this year to choose his coaches. And if it didn't work, which it clearly hasn't, and I don't expect anything to change because they've shown no ability to change, and if anything, when they've changed it a couple times, they've just reverted to their old bad mistakes and made it worse. Like we saw that in the game against, it was either Dallas or the game before that, where they actually started out with some pretty solid play calling in the very beginning, and then for whatever reason went back to their old shit. But my guess is that they have probably given him this year to do that. And then after the season, if it didn't go well, probably we're going to say you're going to bring in a new staff. And then my guess is that Sirianni had this year and next year is my guess. Because
here's the problem.
I never saw them moving off Sirianni within a year of winning the Super Bowl. Even if we believe it was more on the coordinators than him, I never saw that as realistic. I do think that he enters next year on the hot seat, though, especially if this doesn't turn around.
Here's the issue with that, though, and I agree. I think that's exactly what they did. But here's the issue, and here's the underlining issue. This roster in the preseason, we all said it, was by far and away the best roster in the NFL.
Yes,
was by far and away the team that was the clear favorite to win the Super Bowl. The clear favorite.
Yes,
that opportunity. And we all know this as fans of our teams. We know this as Seahawks fans. We know this in Philly. We know this with our other sports teams fans. We know this. We know this all the time. Your Super Bowl window can close as quickly as it opened.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You cannot waste time.
No, you can't.
And what the Eagles have done this year through 13 weeks, I can't believe I'm saying it. It sucks because we watch all their games. They have wasted time.
Yes.
Super Bowl window for Philly might not be there next year. It might not. Who knows what happens? I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't.
Yeah.
But it could.
And I also I do think this too.
It will be if they're not idiots. I was just going to say it will be if they're not idiots.
It will be. Yes, it will be if they're not idiots. But right now they're idiots.
Mm-hmm. And what I'm wondering is this, and again, I don't agree with this if this is the case. I'm just trying to actually make sense of things that don't make sense.
Puzzle pieces, right? Puzzle pieces. Yeah.
What I'm also thinking is they are probably rationalizing it by thinking, okay, well, the roster that we came in with is not the roster we have now because of injuries and yada, yada, yada. The problem is that genuinely good coaches are able to maybe not have the same production as you did with your A1 roster, but they're able to make certain things work in the interim. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, shucks, Zach Taylor can make things work in the interim. I feel bad that Zach Taylor is always the one that gets picked on, but it's just...
Can I help you by adding something really quick?
Yeah.
We all agree that the Rams are the best team in football right now. Not by much, but we agree.
Yeah.
I am confident in saying that Matthew Stafford is still having chronic pain with the back and with the ankle. I'm confident that, or not confident, we know they have a lot of injuries to key players. They are still the best team in football.
They're blowing teams out.
And they're blowing teams out. And do they have the best roster? Is their roster better than Philly?
No.
Hell no. They're still the best team in football. And I'll be honest, if there's any year where injuries aren't the excuse, it was the year where we had a bunch of backup quarterbacks and Blake Bortles was in the AFC title game for some stupid reason. And it's this year. Everybody's injured. Everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
I hate. I'm going to use the word. Everybody's fucked in some way, shape, or form. Everybody looks awful.
Yeah.
In some way. But guess what? The Rams right now are the best team in football.
Yeah.
If there's any year that the Eagles can internally make excuses about this, that, or the other, it is not this year because of what's happening in the rest of the league.
Right.
It's not.
You know what's funny too? When you look, what's crazy is this team's 8-4, right? If they were competent, they'd still be undefeated.
They would bare minimum only have 2 losses.
Yeah,
I think bare minimum 1 because the game against the Giants they had no business in, but they were in this.
3 of their 4 losses, they pretty much had to do everything wrong and let the opponent do everything right just to lose those games.
Yeah, yes. You were up 21-0 on Dallas. You stopped playing football. You were in this game pretty much until the start of the fourth quarter, and your offense couldn't move the ball an inch on the Bears, who had JV high school linebackers.
I would argue they were in this game until they botched the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, pretty much even then, which they didn't even need to go for at that point. And
I keep vacillating back and forth on going for that. I keep talking myself into and out of it, but anyway, go on, Shane.
And then
I was gonna say, I mean, this is. I'm not saying they should do this, but I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, who would be really interesting as the head coach in Philly?
I'll take anything. Give me it.
John Gruden.
He's got experience there.
You know what? I don't think. Okay, so two things. One, I think John Gruden is a dinosaur.
That's the only idea.
In terms of like understanding modern NFL. But yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I'm not saying it would be the right call. I was just sitting here thinking, I was like,
I was bracing myself for you to say Chip Kelly.
Oh,
God. No,
I was sitting here with bated breath thinking that's what you were going to say.
No,
let's make Kevin Patullo the head coach. How much worse would this get?
But see, here's what's hilarious is that if he becomes a CEO head coach and stops calling plays, I can see a world where that actually is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing is I'm positive that article that NFL Network did, which I think who did
that? That's exactly what I was just thinking about.
Was that Garofalo? I am positive that's not without talking to some executives across the league.
Yeah. That's how they come up with those names.
Yes. There's a lot of really fun ones in there. The fact Kevin Patullo was on that list.
Yeah,
right? So they were, well, yes, we all know. It was dumb. But that means that there were actual people, executives, people of note in the NFL who thought of him as a head coaching candidate, right or wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
and
is that gone after today's game? If it's not, I'd be stunned.
Well, it shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think back to, and I think I made this comp a couple episodes ago. We think back the last few years. I mean, we've seen guys who were ranked very highly as coordinators flop as head coaches. Adam Gase is obviously the one that a lot of people go to. We've also seen guys do fairly well as head coaches, not being well rated as coordinators. And then I know the comp that I've made a few times is Matt LaFleur. So I no longer, as time's gone on, take somebody. Oh, another example. Eric Bieniemy had the top offense for year and year and year. And now, he used to be a perennial name that was brought up for head coaching positions, and we don't even hear about him anymore.
Oh my God! Hold on a second.
Oh God!
Eric Bieniemy is where? Is he in college?
I'm pretty sure.
I think
no. I think he's actually coaching for the Bears now.
I gotta quickly check this.
That'd be fitting.
Wait. It gets even worse. Eric Bieniemy. Oh my God! Stupid.
Yep. Yeah.
How do you spell the guy's last name?
I got it.
I found that he's the running back coach for the Bears.
He's the running back coach. You guys got roasted by him today.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just said that name without even thinking.
You know what's funny? That makes sense because he was the Chiefs OC when they played the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Oh boy! Now I see why.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Oh my God! How? Yeah,
no, he wasn't. He was with the Commanders that year.
The Super Bowl year.
I'm almost certain.
Yeah, but he still made it tough on you guys in division, from what I remember. Not as severe as this, but
No, he was OC for that team.
He was. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Shane, do you have any whiteboard stuff on the Eagles again, or do you want to do like Cowboys or something? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, look.
What can Shane draw up at this point about Philadelphia that we haven't already seen?
That is very true. I'm more interested to talk about the Cowboys offense.
Yeah. One more thing before we get on to it, because I have to say it, and it pains me to say it. Brandon Graham, just go retire, bro. Go retire.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't deserve this.
Go
lay on a beach. He shouldn't have come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I thought that
Shane,
was weird.
Yeah, Shane, I think we should stop doing Eagles ones unless you have something in specific that you want to do.
No, because I mean, look, we've done 2 whiteboard segments on them. It's like
there's no need to do a third.
We notice a pattern with them. Okay,
their pattern is they're not a contender.
Yeah, no, they don't manipulate open space, they don't take advantage of open space. They don't manipulate defenders into different coverages and whatnot. It's not great.
Also, historically, teams that have been marked as songs on this show have terrible seasons. So there you go. And again, for those who missed it, we compared it to "I'm Like a Bird" with "I Fly Away," which they have flown away, and of course the Souls being flown away in Philadelphia as well.
They haven't just flown away; it's that they're flying directly into the sun, like Icarus.
Oh, we're getting to the sun. The sun. No. And then of course
we'll get to that because that's fun.
That's what I'm getting to. And then and then whatever that song was by the Struts as well. Well, I'm missing the title right now.
Could have been me.
Could have been me. Yes. So those were the 2 songs we did. Our third and fourth song is the Cowboys. One of Scoop's favorites because this was me during the game. I'm blinded by the light. Blinded. And the Weeknd's Blinding Lights, of course, by Brandon, or one of Brandon's guys, of course. I called Brandon during the game and I asked him a question. I said, can you see anything? Because I can't see the game. It's not a TV problem. I genuinely can't see what's happening because of this fucking sun. Brandon always says all the time when the Eagles have a bad game or the Devils or even the Nets, more with the Nets, he's like, I just want God to blow up the sun. God, did I want that on Thanksgiving. I just was like, end this. The sun ruined my life. And more specifically, Jerry Jones. Guys, my only analysis in the first half was, I'm sorry, I can't see anything, and neither can the players, because they just went QB run, running back run, QB run, running back run, really on both sides of the ball. They didn't do anything because they couldn't see.
Did you see that anytime they tried to throw during that first half, the receiver had no idea where the ball was because he turned his head and he just got flash banged by the sun.
Dude, like the CBS cameras flash banged us because they're just doing the pan, and it's just There was
one time I looked at the crowd. I forget which kicker it was that was warming up on the sideline.
Yeah, it was the Chiefs area too, ironically.
Yeah, I looked over the kicker's shoulder into the seats, and I saw a bunch of yellow, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird for a bunch of Chiefs fans to be wearing yellow." Like over there, I'm like, "Wait a minute, they're not wearing yellow. That's actually the sun." I was like, I've never seen it shine so bright and reflect so heavy that it looks like another team's colors are sitting in the stands. That's incredible to me. And I mean, hell, yeah, you could even read my Discord quote if you want to, because I think but it's like
I'll read it. The memes were great. It was My Eyes from SpongeBob. It was Beavis and Butthead with Beavis being like Beavis getting blinded actually by the sun because he was an idiot and was at the end in a spaceship, and he looked at the microscope that's pointing directly at the sun and blinded his eyes.
I guess that explains the names.
Can we say this on the show?
We can, as long as you just censor out the bad word I used in it.
No, the second one.
Which one? Hold on, I'll go through it real quick.
Can Blank deport the Sun?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Well, it's too late now. You already said it.
Okay. Fine. Okay. What do you think of Chiefs Cowboys for the show? Referencing us. I don't know. I can't see fucking shit. That was me. I couldn't see anything. And then Brandon said, "Can ice deport the Sun?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like literally,
because when you realize that the best lockdown defender in that game was the Sun, when the Sun pretty much in the first half is doing the seatbelt selling, that's a problem.
You think of the amount of times that people prepare for like the snow, the winds, the hail, the rain. When was the last time that the elements that you had to be worried about was the sun?
Every Cowboys game. The thing, I think the Sun got granted a seatbelt. So here's my plea. I want to make a plea, like a genuine plea. I never thought I'd have to do this.
Jerry Jones, close the blinds, please.
No. Wait, I'm not going there. I am going there, but I'm going adjacent. Also, Scoop, I'm going to give you a bit of a stray here, and I apologize in advance. So Scoop, I know, like with movies, like you have what is it? You have trouble with like lights flashing and stuff.
Epilepsy, yeah.
Epilepsy. I felt like I was having epilepsy that whole first half. So I felt like I was having a seizure. Yes. So I have a plea to all networks and Roger Goodell in the NFL. Tell Jerry Jones to get blind for this stadium. Or put warning, or put at like the top left corner of every Cowboys broadcast, warning: this may cause epilepsy. Because it genuinely.
Well, it's not like flashing lights.
Sometimes they would move the camera from the play calling directly to the Sun. They would just go boom, boom.
But was it like in a strobe light flash?
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, or just say, anyway, just say, so that the epilepsy thing, and the second part is can cause Stevie Wonder like blindness. Because that's what I felt watching that first half.
Oh my gosh! I don't know why, but I've just at this moment right now on the show just reminds me when I couldn't say scam.
Scattaboo.
Yeah, Cam Scooter-Bo. Yeah.
Oh Jesus! No, but literally, like I actually think that the NFL has to do something about this because the quality of play is so much worse. The broadcast is so much worse. Players hate it. This actually needs to be addressed by the league office. I'm at that point. It's funny. It's extremely funny. It's not funny for the players. It's not funny for the play callers. Hell, it sure ain't fun for your fans who pay top dollar to sit and basically roast their heads. I was
gonna say if it affects their their golden market team, that's something that they're probably going to be interested in hearing about.
The NFL has to do something about Jerry Jones' senile ass. Because this is forget AstroTurf, forget injuries. This to me is like, well, it's not the biggest problem in the league. That's stupid. But it's guys, if we have a playoff game, hypothetically not likely, but if we have a playoff game that's disturbed by the sun, like if this happens in the I almost want it to happen in the playoffs because then the NFL will have to do something.
Well, here's the thing. This specifically may not happen in the playoffs, but how many times have you seen like the sun reflect like off of like a sheet of snow and like that creates like an issue?
Oh yeah, yes. Not that it would happen in Dallas, but I hear you.
No, but like I'm just thinking it's. If you're going to see something like that in the playoffs, one, because the playoffs are in January, and two, because the playoffs are not usually in Dallas, it's just something that kind of it feels like a more reasonable and potentially realistic scenario.
So yeah, to me that first half was an absolute wash because I literally could not see anything. And neither could anyone else.
Speaking of Dallas, I'm doing it now just so I can show you guys.
Okay, I can't see that shit.
I put the bet down for them to win the division. $15.
Oh my god!
That's the lack of faith I have at this
point. That hurts. What's the odds there?
Because it's plus 800 right now.
Honestly, it's really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just good, business mind.
That's good.
I put 15. I put 15 down to win 135. So basically, I would make 120.
120. Honestly, I mean, at that point, it would have been a bad decision not to.
Honestly, that is the best bet in the NFL right now. In terms of,
I love how we're talking about this now, and we've gone on a rail about sports betting on this show like 4 different times.
You know what's even worse? If you
that's what makes our Guess the Line segment funny, is because we don't really like betting, but yet we do it because it's funny.
If you would have bet the Cowboys after they beat us, or you would have bet them to win the division, you know what the payout would have been? Somebody actually put it in put their receipt on Twitter. If you would have bet it right after the Eagles Cowboys game, it was $20 to win $600.
Damn.
Yeah.
Woo.
I should have bet that at that point.
Listen, I'm doing it for two reasons. Because if it doesn't work, okay, I lost $15, but the Eagles win the division. Second of all, if it does work, I get paid. I can't lose.
Well, see that is specifically. Remember, I said the other day in the group chat, I have a rule where I don't bet on games that my team's playing in. That's exactly why.
Yeah. Either way, I win here. Either way, I reverse jinx it and we win the division, or I get paid. So
at this point, the only thing saving me this week in football is potentially the Iron Bowl against Auburn.
Yeah. All right, Shane. What do you have to show us about this offense that wasn't blinded by the sun in the second half? Thank God.
Well, I've just been thinking about this a lot the last couple of weeks as they played Philly, I think Kansas City. And looking at Dallas, because their offensive personnel is not nearly as good as Philly or KC's. Yet they are way more productive. And I thought, okay, why is this? And so I started watching a bunch of clips of them, and I realized it's like, what's that?
I say because they don't have an idiot at OC.
Yes. Well, yes, but I was looking at it, and the way that they manipulate matchups and take advantage of open space is insane. I was trying to look for, a play that I could demonstrate, but there were too many to choose from. So eventually, this is from the game yesterday. So as you can see, obviously Dallas is in blue, Kansas City's in red, pretty self-explanatory. So Dallas right here, they are in. Does anybody know what formation this is? If you don't, that's okay.
Is that I'm trying to remember from Madden. You talk about the offense, right?
Smart.
Yeah.
Is that levels?
It's not. It's not a levels concept. Is more like in the middle of the field. It's close though.
So this is gun.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, doubles. Doubles right here. Right. Half back to the right. Y attach. So he's on the line as opposed to out wide.
So that's why the tight ends do that sometimes. Okay.
Yeah.
Saw it in the Eagles game too today.
Yes. Yeah. So what you have here is a great example of really, it's over here. That's where the magic happens in this play. So, just grab a marker here. You got X for Dallas is Pickens. It's not CeeDee Lamb, which is normally you would think, your number one guy is your X. In this case, not necessarily the case. X is George Pickens, Z is CeeDee Lamb. Okay, so, and how, by the way, if you're ever not sure, how you can tell is the Y and the Z always line up on the same side. So, whoever's lined up on the same side as the tight end, that's the Z. I shouldn't say always, like 99% of the time. So, where was I? Yes. Okay, so George Pickens, right here, runs what's called a pylon corner. So that's when it's not a true corner where you take like a literal 45-degree angle. It's more so like you go, and then after, 10, 15 steps, you run towards the back pylon. That's what he did here. So, as you can see, he is guarded by the field side corner, which is, I can't even remember his name. But
it's fine.
Anyways, yeah, it should be Quinyon Mitchell, but he wasn't over there for whatever reason. So he was on boundary side instead, which I don't know why, but anyways, that's neither here nor there.
It's just, I don't know why it would be the perfect name for a book about this season.
Yeah. I don't know.
What? Okay, wait. Can I ask a weird question? Why is it's neither here or there? Like, where did that phrase come from? It's so weird, but
I don't know.
It's a great phrase, but it's a phrase we use like every week in the whiteboard segment. I'm like, I want to learn more about the phrase.
I love it. By the way, I don't know if I've ever explained this before. Do you guys know the difference between boundary and field side for corners?
No.
I think you've told us before, but I don't remember at the moment.
I don't know if I did or not. Brandon, do you know?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so
no.
Essentially, boundary side. So on this play, they were on the right hash. So the boundary side is the side that's where there's less field, basically. So if you're on the right hash,
you didn't explain that, because I would have remembered that.
So if you're on the right hash, for instance, the boundary is to the right because that's the smaller side, whereas the field is the larger side. So in this case,
that makes sense. Okay,
is left to the left.
That makes
sense. So field, So boundary side is where your Y and your Z go, aka the strong side. That's where your rover or your strong safety will line up, and your boundary corner will line up. And then field side corner and free safety will go on the field side. There you go. So what happens over here? So Dak throws this to Pickens for like 50 yards. Because what happens is this field side corner is on Pickens. Okay. He comes up, and then right around here, when the F receiver, slot receiver, is making his way inside the nickel, which is Cooper DeJean, he and field side corner switch receivers because he has the deeper leverage. So he goes, okay, I'm going to stick here, and then field side is going to just, come down, go to that guy. Okay, so that was the correct move by the corners. It was. Problem is, when Pickens gets right about here before he makes his break, he jukes inside a little bit, takes a little stutter step to the inside, and then cuts outside. And Cooper DeJean bites on it. He starts coming down, and then he's not quick enough to catch up with him once he realizes, oh, crap, he's going this way. And if you look at the free safety, they're in.
This is from the Chiefs game, right? Or is this from?
Oh no, that's Philly.
Or that's no. Philly.
Sorry. Why was I saying?
No, I mean you're using it as an example. That's fine. That's totally fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Sorry, I got mixed up. No, this is the Chiefs.
But still, you can use Eagles players as an example since we don't actually.
That's fine. It makes me happy just to hear those guys' names.
No, well, here's the thing. It's funny because this concept is called cover one robber, where it appears like
it's a Madden play, yeah.
That is in Madden, but that's a very generic term anyway.
Yeah, it's basic, yeah.
Everything in Madden is basic.
Where it looks like you're going to have two safeties deep, but then one of them comes down and plays this middle zone. So this is something the Chiefs and the Eagles both run a lot. Like, I think I was reading somewhere like 35% of their plays are cover one.
Holy moly,
Jesus!
Which is crazy, but here we are.
Brandon is not okay after hearing that.
But so the reason that works is because, again, taking advantage of matchups. Schottenheimer knows that the slot corner is not going to be quick enough to keep up with Pickens once they do the switcheroo, and there's just a lot of traffic in here anyways, and he's just going to be able to escape up the top. That's taking advantage of mismatches. Basically he gets up here, and then where's the free safety? Playing down in the middle. So it's wide open up there. Now, okay, let's say that didn't work. Let's say the free safety did go deep. Well, chances are your tight end, Ferguson, because Mike linebacker, he's just kind of sitting in his little area. Chances are he's going to be open right about here.
He's not going to really follow. That's not really how Robert works. It's not much of a following thing. Yeah.
Right. So he's going to be open here because you've got field side corner and nickel all the way up here. Right. So it's a, yeah. I mean, this is just excellent play design that can work. Here's the thing. It work. A play is good when you can run it against a few different defensive coverages and somebody will be open. Okay, in this case, it's the X.
I don't know what that feeling's like this season.
In this case, it's the X. Let's say they flip the cover one robber concept and Rover plays down here. Then Z's probably going to be open. Let's say Tiger blitzes or something, then H is going to be open. So, I mean, there's a lot of, it's like whatever the scenario is, it'll be all right. There's another thing too that I wanted to well, yeah, go ahead.
I just really wanted to say, because you were talking about, hit the halfback in that situation. Why has this been happening the last few years in college and pro? Why don't quarterbacks start taking the flat more? It's open. You dang idiots. This is across the board. Across college and pro this year. Looking for big plays when you don't need to. Relax, guys. It's been the case for a few years. It leads to interceptions, it leads to just missed timings, and you're like, this has been Geno Smith's biggest problem. Peyton Manning talked about it on the Manning cast a few weeks ago. Just take the flat. This is the NFL. Guys can move. You have Aston Genty, one of the fastest backs in the league, youngest back in the league, right? He's a rookie. Take the flat. You can get a first down. It's unbelievable.
And another thing that they were doing is, let's look at up front. You got end, nose, tackle, and then strong side backer warrior. So all 4 of these guys are rushing. Okay. You know who the N is here? The nose tackle? It's Chris Jones.
Oh,
you notice how many guys are on him?
Everybody, yeah.
2 are on him.
Oh yeah.
And then what does the center do? The center pulls, hits the warrior. So what this does is it prevents warrior from potentially disrupting this route from your Y and from trying to get this edge on the right tackle, because he was playing far off, right? And in the process, you get 2 guys on their best lineman. So this concept where they slide to the left and the center pulls to the right, that's called Lobo center pull, meaning the everybody but the center is gonna Lobo left. It stands for what does Lobo stand for? It stands for.
It just makes me think of the DC character.
Meanwhile, you said everybody but the center, and it made me think of the penalty.
That's exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
True, yeah. I'll have to look it up because I'm not an O-line expert, but it stands for something. It's like line off, blocker out, or something. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah. But yeah, and so then that's just, that's yet another layer to add to it, because it's not just standard pass blocking. And that's how they're really successful in the run game as well, is because of the blocking, not only from the offensive line, but from, tight ends. They like to use fullbacks. They're just, it's like what the hell did I just do? It's like every guy on the field is, when they're blocking, is accounted for in some fashion. So, yeah, no, it's just interesting, and I think the thing it tells me most is that Schottenheimer really does his homework and recognizes certain personnel packages on defense where he can say, okay, they've got these guys in the game. That means, their tendency is that they're going to blitz these guys, rush these for whatever. Whereas, so then he can call plays accordingly, because, sure, they ran that, that Lobo concept right there because he knew, okay, they're only going to rush 4 here, but let's say they rushed 5, then they're leaving a wide open lane for someone to potentially get to Dak. But that didn't happen. So, it's, it's just that attention to detail and having the layers, I think, just makes it really interesting. Yeah. Now, defensively, Dallas is awful, but
yeah, that's what I was gonna get to, because I was asking you yesterday, because I wanted to bring this up today. Like, what makes it so basic? But also, you said something where you're just like, aren't happy with the corners and how they're making decisions.
Well, yeah, because it's, I mean, they're DBs in general. Just, it's a lot of the same, like, strolling on backwards, on a run play, or, it's like, but yeah, one of the things that, I mean, Dallas basically just runs a basic 4-3 cover 3 defense, which was, revolutionary 15 years ago, but nowadays it's kind of like, okay, I mean,
that's basically what I use in Madden. I always run cover 3 base.
Yeah,
it's just basic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's literally I learned it. Shane was like, "Hey, try this," and I just tried it, and I was like, "It's I feel like I've always been basic."
I feel like I've always been a disguised 3-4 guy.
Disguised 3-4 or 3-4 under, not necessarily in Madden, but I guess in Madden, but just in general, I think it generally works best. But it is a little more complicated because the whole thing about it is disguises. Like,
right.
You have to kind of, yeah, that's a whole other thing. But anyways,
yeah.
But if you're just, oh no, you're good. But if you're just looking at a, like a basic, just a, base level defense, it's like 4-3 cover 3 is, I mean, it's about as simple as you can get. So, if you're just starting out, like in, Pop Warner football, or like if you're a new Madden player or whatever, sure, that's great. But at the NFL, it's like, okay. Not that you can't do that, but the problem is they are in that look like every single play. I mean, they very rarely go to nickel or dime looks, or you rarely see them have have 5 up front or any disguises or bear, nothing like that. It's just like they pretty much always just show 4 linemen, 3 linebackers, and 4 DBs. So, yeah, and that becomes problematic when you have, a weak side linebacker trying to keep up with sometimes a slot receiver in, man coverage. It's like,
and that's
do the math on that.
That's what happened against the Chiefs too. Like Rashid Rice,
yeah,
always open, things of that nature.
Right, because I think their defensive line really is pretty good, especially with Quinnen Williams. Like they're not like doing anything fancy, but they're just big, strong dudes. But yeah, I mean, on the back end, it's just like, oh man, yeah, and we've seen this being a problem with them, even going back to the Dan Quinn days, who's obviously known for the 4-3 cover 3 look, where like Trayvon Diggs, everyone was like, oh wow, he's got the most interceptions in the league, and then this and that. It's like, okay, yes, but he's also allowed the most yards and touchdowns of any DB in the league, because you need to be a smart player like Sherman to do that well in that cover 3. And not every guy is. I'm not saying Diggs is not, but I mean, when you have 8 picks in a year or whatever, and then you have that duality of like giving up so many yards, I mean, kind of tells me that you're not necessarily being in the right place at the right time, but it's more so just that you're just a good athlete with good instincts. So,
yeah. So with Kansas City, Scoop, the loss is a detriment, a massive one. This team ain't making the playoffs, Scoop. At this point, it really feels like a lost cause.
Okay, so I'm gonna say a 2-part thing here. I agree with you, obviously. I think it's kind of hard to have watched them recently and not agree with you. However, and I'm gonna try and not get sick today by saying this sentence, I have to give Dallas a hell of a lot more credit than I wanted to, and than I expected to.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because you don't beat both teams from this past Super Bowl I don't care how different the rosters are from then to now or who's hurt or whatever. You don't beat the 2 Super Bowl teams from this past season in the same week without being well coached, talented, and all this other. And so I may end up having to eat my words about Brian Schottenheimer being hired as their coach because as obviously Shane just delineated far better than I ever could. That's why he's the guy that I go to for X's and O questions. And he probably has heard way too much from me on that matter already. But so I think it's a combination of both. I mean, yes, I think Kansas City is kind of, I'm not going to say falling off. I think that, I don't know if I would say I see it as a permanent thing just yet, just because, again, we saw their dominance for so long that I'm reluctant to say this is over. But the cracks in the chinks in the armor, or whatever phrase you want to use, are appearing to be as glaring and as real as they've been at any point in the past decade.
But it is that, Scoop. But the real reality with Kansas City, like, there's so many problems that just tenfold the team has so many issues down the board.
Oh, absolutely. I just have seen.
Yeah,
I just have seen too many times. I think that it's the end for them, and then they get right back on top. So that's why I'm saying.
Right, but that's the problem. The problem is, yes, that's how we should be. But the reality of the AFC, the reality of the playoff picture is that opportunity to fix it is slim to almost absolutely none this season.
Yeah. I think I misrepresented my point. I don't.
Not at all. I think it's accurate.
I don't think they're able to rebound in a position to salvage this season. I'm saying that I'm not sure I would be 100% out on them being able to have a better season next year is what I'm saying. Like,
I don't.
Like, I'm not suddenly.
This is and I agree. But the thing is, for this team, Patrick Mahomes has said this last week. He said this after the game. He's like, we have to win from here on out.
Yeah,
and even if they do win from here on out, a lot of other things that are unlikely have to go their way.
They don't control their own destiny. Mm-hmm. And like, I can't remember who was saying it a little while ago, but somebody was talking about how I think it was Robert. It may have actually been you, and I apologize if I misremembered this, but there was a conversation about how the Eagles. And the only reason I'm bringing up the Eagles is because the sort of the quote unquote excuses about injuries or whatever, they're least valid this year because of all the other people that are banged up.
It's across the board.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is you look in the AFC, Baltimore didn't have their quarterback for a good chunk of the year. Cincinnati didn't have their quarterback for a good chunk of the year. Excuse me. Sorry. You look in the Denver Broncos, even though they've been healthy, they definitely looked sort of up and down for a chunk of the season. Buffalo looks as volatile as they've ever been during the Josh Allen era. So if there was ever a time for Kansas City to, I would say they're in a similar situation. If there was ever a time for them not to have any, or that they should still be able to navigate certain waters, it would be now.
And as you said, it's similar with Philly. Like this is the year to do something, right? And both Super Bowl teams haven't. Now Philly's going to make the playoffs. Kansas City, good luck, guys. Good luck.
They are not in control of their own destiny, as teams like to say. We want to be in control of your own destiny. They are not.
Shane, go.
So I'm checking right now. Before yesterday, Kansas City had a 43% chance to make the playoffs.
It's got to be like 17 now.
It is now 28.
Okay, I was a little bit off.
It's over.
So.
It's over.
So I mean, there is a chance, but I think they have to, they'd have to lose like minimum one more game, and then have a bunch of. Right, and then have a bunch of other stuff go their way. So
then we're talking about the two Super Bowl teams next week. National TV, key points: Chiefs, Houston, Sunday night, and then of course Philly against the Chargers. Both obviously very different situations, but we're gonna be here.
Are Eagles Chargers? Did you say that that's also a national game?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's the Monday nighter. Yeah.
Okay.
And you guys are gonna get a bunch of Monsters Inc. notes from me on that day because I'm gonna watch
give me Mike Wazowski as offensive coordinator. Please.
Yeah, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that good because he's going to impersonate Kevin Patullo, and we know how bad that's going to be. But like that matchup on Sunday night in particular, Brandon. I mean, Houston. It ain't no pushover. This feels like a Houston. It feels like a Houston win. Honestly, it does.
With how good that defense is, it wouldn't shock me if they beat the Chiefs. It really wouldn't. I mean that defense just flies to every single ball, no matter where it is on the field. They get to the quarterback. I said this about Houston's defense last year.
If Justin Herbert plays well, they win. If Justin Herbert mucks it up, then they lose. It's my opinion.
Yep.
Yes. If I'm looking at like Houston against the Chiefs, now the Chiefs defense is not what it used to be right now. The offense is not what it used to be right now, and the Texans, listen, you don't really have good quarterback play, but with that defense, you kind of don't need it. They're getting by off of having basically probably a top 3 defense in the NFL.
Shout out to DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah, yep. who was always a good defensive guy. So they have guys who can get to the quarterback. Pretty much everybody on that defense line can get to the quarterback. They have corners and safeties who fly to the ball. They hit hard. They don't. I mean, they play a physical, at least defensively. They play a physical game all 4 quarters, which wears teams down. So, I look at them and I think to myself, I mean, the only kind of, I guess, saving grace is that the game is at Arrowhead for the Chiefs. So that might give them some reason to kind of be a little optimistic, but at the same time, we're sitting here and we're looking at it, and I mean, you're going at this. I mean, the Texans, they're fighting for their own playoff lives. Both these teams need this game. Both these teams can turn it up to another level, at least defensively. Like, don't be surprised if that. I mean, it should be. Don't be surprised if that game is super low scoring. Don't be surprised if that game is like, 17-16 final score or something like that, because it seems like it would be that kind of game. So
we don't normally do this, and obviously we're going to do this for the Sunday games. The line already came out for Texans Chiefs next week. The early line. Anyone want to guess what it is?
I'll go last since I want to have. Well, I'll just go last.
Texans -3.
Brandon.
I'll go right below it. I'll say Texans -2.5.
Scoop.
Where is it in? Kansas City?
Yep. It is in KC.
Now they're still going to have KC favored. I'll go KC -3.5.
KC -5.5 somehow.
What the?
Oh no!
Which I don't see what Vegas has been watching, but okay.
Exactly.
I think I was generous giving them 3.5.
Oh yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, Vegas clearly has not been watching the Texans defense at all, and how the Chiefs have played.
The only team in Vegas that likes the Chiefs.
And you know what's funny? They say a home team automatically starts off with 3, pretty much added to their.
That's where I came up with the 3.5. Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out. So they were already favored without the 3. They're already favored by 2.5, which I still think is too high. If anything, I would have said if it was going to be the Chiefs, I would have said -1.5 maybe. So that's surprising to me that they haven't favored by that much. Clearly Vegas has no clue about these teams. It's funny. Vegas should know because it's Vegas. Chiefs, AFC West, like Texans, the South, like they get probably more Texans games there than we do over here at least. So I don't get what Vegas is watching because the Texans defense is phenomenal this year. And guess what? The Texans are also a top 10 defense last year. And nobody talked about it. Texans were the most underrated defense in football last year. So
yep, we'll quickly do this. Texans Colts Sunday in Indy. Guess the line. I only have a couple. We'll quickly do these.
Colts -5.
In Indy with they're automatically getting 3. I'll say. Division game though. That's always tight. So I'll say Colts -4.5.
Scoop.
That's what I was going to say. So,
all right, you want to take that one?
Nah. I'll drop down a point. I'll say Colts minus. I was going to say 4, and I'll go 3.5.
Shane, what did you say again? My apologies.
Colts -5.
-5. Colts -3.
Oh.
Because our man Scoop is going to the game. Niners Browns.
Oh God.
Oh sweet Caroline.
Niners -7.
Now keep in mind the weather plays an impact because we are predicting.
Yeah, well that's why I'm thinking. I think the line's gonna be closer than people expect because you got a California team going to Tundraville.
But it's not like San Francisco. Like it's not like it's just warm and sunshine and roses there in the winter. It rained. It's right on the ocean.
It's Northern California, isn't it? Because San Francisco's Northern California. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, you got Lake Erie and Cleveland.
Yeah.
So the weather besides what snow is or what is it? So what's the actual
snow and high winds is predicted.
Yeah.
Oof.
Give me. Oh wait, I'll go last. I forgot.
No, can you Scoop? Can you go first? This is the game you're going to.
It's your game.
I'm going
doing
to
this. I'm doing this because of you, or else I wouldn't have picked this.
Sorry. So I would say.
I'm very excited though to hear your analysis on both of these teams in person.
I would have probably said San Francisco. Sorry, I would have probably said San Francisco minus a touchdown. Any other situation? So we'll go the 3, and I'll go another point for weather. So I'll go San Francisco minus 3.5.
Okay.
I was clearly wrong. Otherwise, you would have said it was right.
And Shane, you said -7. Are you still sticking with -7 even with the weather?
Yeah.
Okay, Brandon.
Because the thing is, these offenses, for San Francisco's offense, it's running and short passing. So, I don't see how the weather would affect it that much. But anyway.
Well, when your offense or when your team gets players hurt every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And running and short passing still does get affected in the snow.
What did I say? 3.5, Rob?
Yes, 3.5.
Do you mind if I change? Or do you want?
Do you want to go? Do you want to go up or down?
I want to give San Francisco more points.
How much more?
You know what? Never mind. I don't want to be. I'm not going to.
Okay.
It's so tricky because it's like
it just. When I say that, I feel like I didn't give San Francisco enough, but it's fine.
Brandon, what are you taking?
But the thing is, does Vegas factor in the weather?
They always do.
Why the hell are we -7 today?
-8 at game time, by the way.
Oh my God, which is ridiculous.
At least last I checked. At least on Thanksgiving, you were -8.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. Because today was always projected to be 30, 35 plus mile per hour winds and cold. So I was like, why? And the bear.
When it's snow, it's a little different.
Yeah, It's still bad weather games. I hate when they give teams a big line, and it's like this just feels like a game where I don't think the line is a touchdown. That seems crazy, but like any other day, it should be.
That's where I started from there and kind of went down.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna say Chiefs. I guess I'll say not Chiefs. Wow, Chiefs. 9. God, I'm stuck on that one. I don't know why. Niners minus 5.5.
You guys should have hit it in the middle. Niners minus 4.5. 4.5.
Oh. I damn near changed it to that, but I didn't want to be like that guy.
I had a feeling. Falcons Jets.
Ew.
Ironically, minus 4.5 might be the wind chill at that Cleveland game.
Damn. Stay warm.
I'm gonna have color in my face for the first time in my life.
Falcons minus 2.
Shane always picks the ones I kind of want, or at least like the ones I'm getting close to.
Sorry.
But see, once again, I'm gonna half you on that one. I'm gonna say, well, I'm gonna jump ahead of you by a half. I'm gonna say, Falcons minus 2.5.
Scoop.
That's what I was gonna say. So
it is Falcons minus 2.5. There you go.
Yes.
Good job,
guys. Prize for tonight.
Cardinals Buccaneers in Tampa Bay.
Ew. Yeah. Oh man.
That can either be a really good game or a really crap game.
I think it's crap because Tampa is probably the most injured team in the league at this point.
I'm still going to say Tampa minus 6.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Damn you.
Does give a kidney stone.
Oh my god! Because how healthy? Well, what's the update on Baker? I didn't see anything.
He'll be fine.
He's expected to play.
Yeah, I know. That guy's gonna have both his arms fall off by the end of the season.
If he got through playing in Cleveland, I think he can handle most of anything.
Yeah, you would think, but my God, I don't think he's ever had arm injuries this bad throughout a whole season before. I mean, listen, no Mike Evans. That defense is terrible. Like that line should be closer than what it is if people actually realize the situation going on, and the fact that the Buccaneers have not been good since pretty much since Mike Evans went out again. I mean, he only played 2 seconds of the season anyway. Mike Evans had an Aaron Rodgers Jets highlight.
I was just going to say the same thing.
But I feel so bad. That's my goat. But I guess and that's in Tampa, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Screw it. Bucks minus 4.5.
Scoop.
Brandon needs to stop reading my mind, but I'll go Bucks minus. I'll sandwich myself in the middle. Bucks minus 5.
It opened at Tampa Bay minus 6. It is now Tampa Bay minus 3.5.
Whoa.
Okay, that's a little more love than I would show to Arizona.
Yeah, that's
people are betting Arizona, which is wild.
I still
last one, Bills Steelers.
Ugh.
In Pittsburgh.
Oh my God.
In Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
I'll go Bills minus 3.
Bro, everyone keeps stealing my damn lines. I'll go Bills minus.
You can double if you want.
Now, where'd you say it's in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
All right. Bills minus 2.5. I mean 2.5. What the?
Okay, 2.5.
Yeah,
Brandon.
Yeah, at the stadium formerly known as Heinz Field.
Acrisure.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's the Acrisure.
Not calling it that. That's Heinz Field.
That's how I feel about Safeco Field.
Yeah.
How do you think we feel here?
I mean, you probably still call it the Kingdom Dome.
Yeah.
Kingdom, not Kingdom Dome.
Kingdom. Sorry, I don't. I can't.
You're good.
Yeah, you were there.
Shane's like, get it right. Don't disrespect our goddamn franchise.
I don't think anyone disrespects your franchise more than your franchise.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Although that was the home of Seahawks and Mariners. The Kingdom.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
I forgot about that.
They shared it.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah.
I'm licking my chops here.
I don't trust the Bills at all, and the Steelers have no quarterback. So.
Oh, I forgot A-Rod was out.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, that does make a difference.
No, wait. No, he's not out.
Well, he's back.
Is he back?
He's fully
expected
to play.
Yeah.
He's fully expected.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know if it makes a difference. Aaron Rodgers is trash now. Okay, that changes my answer. Cause I thought he was still out at least one more week. I thought he was out.
I don't know if it makes a difference. Okay, that changes my answer.
Yeah, I thought he was out another week. Because I would have said like Bills, but it wouldn't have been high if he was out another week. I would have said Bills minus 3.5. But I'm gonna say Bills minus 2.5.
Shane got it right. Bills minus 3. He got it. Got it.
I got a line right.
Also, I'm just gonna say this one because there's no point in guessing. Broncos Commanders is Sunday Night Football. It's Broncos minus 5.5.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
I don't think it's. Yes.
Just for shits and giggles, what is the Rams Panthers line?
Oh God.
I'll give you one that's worse. Vikings Seahawks is much worse.
Ew.
It's worse?
It's much worse.
JJ McCarthy is the worst quarterback in football this year.
It's much worse. It's Seahawks. He's not playing. It's the rookie.
He's not playing. It's Max Brosmer.
Okay, yeah, it's even worse. So yeah, it was. That was the freaking.
It's Seattle minus 11.5.
That's it. Should be higher.
Which it should be higher at this point.
That should be the highest line. That should be like 18.5. That should be a college football line.
And then Rams Panthers is Rams minus 10.
I'm sorry. I still think that, and I'm a Bryce Young fan, but I still think that Rams Panthers should be higher than the Seahawks.
I was going to say that game feels like 11.5, not 10.
Yeah, and then Giants Patriots on Monday has stayed steady at New England minus 7 throughout the week.
Have we had any pick'em games this year?
No, we have had none. We have not had a pick'em yet this year. If you guys would, I know we're kind of switching really quick, but look at the schedule for Sunday. Just take a peek at this really quickly.
Do I have to?
It is really bad. It's probably the worst of the season. I'm not even gonna lie. I know we said that like I think last week or 2 weeks ago. It's worse than that.
I'm so glad I'm going to an NFL game this week because I have perfect excuse to not watch any football this week.
We've got Saints Dolphins, disgusting. Texans Colts, it could be good. That's the game of the week.
I still would take Bills Steelers. I'm very curious about that.
I'm with Brandon on Texans Colts.
Yeah, the Bills are garbage until proven otherwise.
Wait, back up. How the hell is Carolina and LA 6? I mean, how the hell is Carolina 6-6?
We talked about this last week. They got on a run.
They're still alive for the division too.
They are. They're like one game back.
I've been tweaking. I thought that they were much worse than that.
No. Yeah,
no way.
Well, they had a surge where they won like 3 straight games or something like that.
They were 1-4, and then they smacked a surge of 5-6 games of quality play before Monday night.
Let's see. I haven't been paying enough attention to them.
Texans Colts is good. Falcons Jets is gross. Niners Browns. Sorry, Scoop. That's disgusting.
The only thing that's gonna Pringles is smacking Scoop all over the place right now.
No, she's not smacking. She's like doing a dino dig into my skin. We have got to clip your nails.
Yeah, Rams Panthers not good.
Jaguars, Niners Browns should be fun just because of the weather. I'm just curious about.
Well, yeah, because football weather. Yeah. Jags.
I'm looking forward to going to that. I mean, I'm looking forward to going to it, but I'm looking forward to it from a football atmosphere too.
Jesus, sure. Like Jags Titans. Oh, barf.
I hate Broncos Commanders on Sunday night. We're probably going to record at halftime.
Well, because you know why
I genuinely hate it.
You know why they did that? Because they had the thought of Jaden and coming into the season, Jaden Daniels against Bo Nix.
And the reason why they're keeping it, same with Giants, Panthers, or Patriots, which I don't love, is because of the quarterbacks.
Yeah, even though Jaden Daniels is not playing, right?
Well, no, he's not. But I'm saying Bo Nix and Drake
Marcus
May.
Mariota.
Yeah.
Because that's
bad. Yeah, it is an Oregon matchup.
It's a Ducks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say battle of former Ducks.
Yeah. So yeah, I get it. Raiders, Chargers.
Shane, any matchup that strikes your fancy other than Seattle potentially just smacking Minnesota silly?
That doesn't strike my fancy at all. No, I mean, yeah, Texans Colts. That's pretty much it. Otherwise,
there's not one other game that I am interested in this weekend other than Texans Colts.
The thing is, Tom Brady and KB have the weekend off. The fact that Jim Nantz and Tony Romo have to do the Bills game is pretty preposterous. Because honestly, it's not even worth that.
It's going to make it even more. It makes me even more unlikely to be interested in listening because I at least like Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt commentary. Like I'm even less interested in games now that I know that they're not going to be on.
Yeah, Tony Romo's had a bad year. All right, well, that's our games there. Otherwise, this whole schedule's pot cookies. Anything else on Kansas City before we move on? I think we basically covered everything.
I honestly put them in the Philly bucket where I don't know what else I need to say about them this year.
Yep.
All the bigger teams like that you can think of, minus the Rams, are like all the like the usual suspects are all in the Philly bucket. Philly, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore. They're all.
Wait. Baltimore in the Philly bucket. Let's go on there before we do Packers Lions because Baltimore, Brandon, this is not only ugly for the division because you have the Steelers next week.
Mm-hmm.
You keep the Bengals in it. This was your chance to completely take them out of it on Thanksgiving night, and the Bengals played the best defense they've played by far all year long.
And it's just concerning because it's like when you look at the quote unquote big four that always seem to play each other every year like that are always at the end of a year. It's Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and when healthy, Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes. So you got those five, but the four that I'm talking about between Kansas City, Philly, Buffalo. I mean those three teams are identical to me, and then and the reason why I include Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, listen, Grant, he was hurt for a lot of the year, but even the games he was healthy, hasn't played great. Played the worst defense in the NFL last night. Listen, they did play better, but still, it's the worst defense statistically in the NFL, and he basically turned the ball over 3 times himself, or it might have been 4. I think 4 in total, but I can't remember how many he actually had on himself, but it was bad. He was bad.
It was bad, yeah.
So, and the thing is that offense is bad. That defense is really bad. So, like, I put them in that bucket because it's the same thing. It's the down years for the elite quarterbacks, and it's the teams just are not as disciplined as they once were, and the defenses are kind of not what they once were. So, and even the coaching staffs, like you have guys who usually are there at the end of the year. Hell, even last night when it came to the Chiefs, I remember I was screaming, "What the hell is Andy Reid doing in the final 3.5 minutes?"
Yeah, because he just called timeouts like an
all his
idiot.
timeouts before 3 minutes left in the game. What the hell are you doing? Like, I mean, so I don't understand it with those 4 teams. Like, I mean, we know what the issues are, but I'm putting them all in the same bucket because they're just not where they used to be. They're not. So it's kind of crazy because and that's what we said all year that football this year hasn't been good. Like, football is better when those teams do good. Those teams on paper all have decent enough records, but they're not. None of those teams are good football teams. Not Kansas City.
This was the best Thanksgiving slate in a long while.
Oh yeah,
minus
the games were good. All the favorites really lost, but the games were good.
Games are good. For Baltimore, Shane, I mean, again, the biggest thing I took away from it, really, because it was the blowout, was just like Baltimore missed a golden opportunity in the division. It's just the thing I keep coming back to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's, you get off to that slow start and then kind of start to creep their way back into it. And meanwhile, Pittsburgh is sort of on a little bit of a decline. So, yeah, it would have been a perfect opportunity to take a game in division, too. But yeah, no, it's, I don't know. That was, of all the games, all 3 of the games yesterday were upsets. I figured Green Bay would win. I figured they would upset Detroit.
And by the way, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. I thought Kansas City would win, but I was like, I won't be shocked if this is like a trap game and Dallas wins.
Because it's too close. We talked about it being a trap game last week. It's too close. These two teams, the Chiefs and Cowboys, feel closer than
But Baltimore or Cincinnati, I thought there is no way in hell Baltimore loses this game.
Yeah.
And not only did they lose, they
got dog.
Well, yeah. I don't know if I'd say it's a blowout, but it was not. It wasn't close.
I would consider that a blowout, considering where the expectations were on the game.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like with this game, particularly on Cincinnati's side, yeah, it was a complete game, but I absolutely 100% do not expect the Bengals defense to do this the rest of the year.
No,
I don't. This is an amazing game. It happens to bad defenses once or twice a year.
Remember, the Bengals' last 2 seasons have finished what's their record? 9-8. They have to win out to have a chance to make the playoffs. Like, their season is still done. I mean, it's not for the division. Like, the only way the Bengals get in is if the Ravens and Steelers blow the division. That's the only way they get in. So, like, when you look at what the Bengals have to go through to make it, pretty much, I mean,
they have a 6% chance.
Yeah, they have to win out. And the thing is, are you gonna beat the Ravens again? I don't know. You play them again. You play the Browns again. I mean, listen, division game, but you should win. Cardinals, you should win. Dolphins, but the thing is, you play the Ravens in Buffalo next week. That's probably where their season ends. Right there.
Yeah,
probably where it ends. If I had to guess,
the Bills in Buffalo. Scoop, for you with Baltimore, where are you at with them? I mean, this whole division is a where are you at kind of thing because it's just a mess beyond belief. But after last night, it's scary.
No, it's definitely. I mean, we've all said what a cluster it is, and excuse me. Again, it's week to week who screws up the least is basically what it's going to end up coming down to for this team. I think a lot of us saw Baltimore running away with it before Lamar got hurt. I think we all had the question when he came back is, did he miss too much time for them to be able to still lock this thing? It's it's looking like it's going to be the Steelers to win this division, but it's just so like none of these teams in this division look like division winners. And this is one reason why, and I was going to talk about this, and this is a great way for me to bring this up.
I think Shane is going to be excited with where you're going because I can already kind of tell where you're going.
You can already tell where I'm going.
Go for it.
Why the hell do division winners automatically get into the playoffs just for becoming the best team in a lousy division? That does not tell me.
I'm going to say this really quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, Scoop. That is going to matter a lot in the NFC side. Because a lot of teams are going to have like the most insane amount of wins and not get in.
I remember.
Well, look at last year.
Brandon, you might remember this. Well, one of y'all might, but I just brought up Brandon because I know we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Who was it a few years ago that won a division that was like 7-8-1 or some shit?
Wasn't that the Bucks?
That was us. That was Seattle.
I was going to say, I thought that might have been Seattle.
Well, Bucks,
it was
had a year. Didn't the Bucks?
The Bucks had one too.
When they were like 8-9.
I mean, God, this happens. This happens every year where somebody wins a division at like 9-8 or 8-9, and then they not only get to the playoffs, but they get a home game.
That's
that's the problem. That's the biggest issue.
Look at last year.
Because I remember bringing this up. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like last year, look at like the Vikings winning 14 regular season games and being the 5th seed, not the 2nd or 3rd or whatever,
and that ended up being their downfall against LA because they just got a bad draw.
Yeah, so they a 14-win Vikings has to go on the road against a 10-win LA in Arizona because because there was that whole thing. But
I will say because this will kind of ease you guys a little bit. They talked about this exact thing in terms of, hey, if you have a better record, you should play at home. They were pretty close to passing it. I'll give you guys this. I think it's a 95% chance it gets passed at the end of this
offseason. You mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I would just make it like old basketball. Like, how they have the 1 through 8 for both conferences. I would just make it 1 through 7.
Yeah, they are going what they are going to do, and because of the outlook that we're getting to once we end the season and get to the playoffs, considering where the NFC is, considering where the AFC is, they're going to pass this. I can guarantee you that what they're going to pass is they're going to say division winners still automatically get in, but if that a team that's like 2nd or 3rd in the division, actually 2nd, because you're not going to be 3rd in division with a massive record in most years. The 2nd team in the other division that has a better record, they're playing at home. They are going to pass that next year, and I guarantee you they're going to pass it. I'm very certain because the conversations were very positive in July when they talked about it. It was very positive.
I hope so, but I also want to mention one thing you kind of like glossed over, I think, for a second, and I'm just like, I don't know if it was a main point or not. But you said all division winners still get in. Like that's like something that I'm talking about is where it's like I don't need to see a team that can beat up on a division of 4-13 and 5-12 teams, get in 8-9. Like it just
the argument against it is very simple, which is that it does what has happened to the NBA, which is divisions literally do not matter. The NBA has divisions. I don't know who's in any division. That's a good point. I mean, it just makes the division. And again, for the NFL, it's different because the divisions are rivalry games more often than not. But it just makes they will never do the 1 through 8 thing, no matter how good or what they do in the NBA. They will never do that. Unless something changes in the divisions. They will never do it. They will never do it because it just makes the regular season a lot different. But
honestly, the thing is, as a Pelicans fan, I don't even know who's in the Pelicans division.
You're in the wrong conference is your problem. You literally are in the wrong conference. Anyway,
yeah, the fact that we're not in the Southeast is insane to me.
Yeah. But that being said, they are going to pass that this offseason. Depending on how this season ends, and as Scoop detailed, it's probably going to end rough in terms of who's going to get in and who's not going to get in. It is going to get passed. And you know what? It should have gone past last year, but I think it was their first real time having a conversation because the NFL is very reactionary. Stuff happens the year before, they have a conversation.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, the whole PI thing after the Saints-Rams game, they didn't have a conversation about that. They just implemented it, and it was awful. So they take a year to figure this stuff out, unless it's special teams related. And even special teams, they took a long time to move the field goal back, to do the kickoff. Like they don't want to make a decision without having a year buffer in between in most cases. Literally what the NBA did with the ABS system. They didn't implement it this season because they wanted a buffer. So the NFL is going to do the same thing there. Finally, Packers Lions. We talked about the Lions. We talked about the aggressiveness with Dan Campbell. It's awful. It's atrocious. We've talked about it in length. The Packers. I said this like maybe a few weeks ago, and I'm gonna say it again, but I'm gonna say it more emphatically. The Packers should, yes, I said should, be a top team in the NFL and a Super Bowl contender. Why are they not? Because that D-line, and it's because of the D-line. If the D-line is way more consistent, they're at the top of this conference. But they are not at all. And it's just this team is so close to being one of the best in the NFC, in my opinion, and they're just not. Shane, what say you?
I don't even think it's the D line. I think it's the secondary being just not good, other than McKinney, and just inconsistent offense. I mean, some games, the run game is humming. Jordan Love is just firing on all cylinders, and it's like, and then some weeks it's like they just forgot to show up to the stadium.
You're forgetting a main point. The Thanksgiving game was the start of Toyotathon for Jordan Love.
I was just going to get there.
Start of Toyotathon.
Oh my goodness!
The official start of Jordan Love Toyotathon. So maybe that changes.
So watch when it ends. Then we'll judge the Packers. Then we'll judge them. But I know what they are because before Toyotathon is what the Packers really are. Like
during Toyotathon, they just explode.
Exactly, because Toyotathon, for some reason, Jordan Love has some sort of attraction to Toyota cars and the company.
I'm not going to lie.
The wording is not great.
I still don't understand the Toyotathon thing with Jordan Love. I'm not going to lie. Like I don't understand what the meme is.
It's so weird. It's literally just for a period of a few weeks, he just goes off during the exact same time, every single season.
So basically, you can look at the statistics, Scoop, if you wish, but like basically the whole Toyotathon thing is that for the period of Toyotathon, Jordan Love becomes like a top NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Any other time, it's like kind of like middling.
Yeah, like and like
it's really bizarre.
The Packers, is the record good? Yeah. Is the D-line good? Yes, but inconsistent. Like that's the thing is and this is and it's not even really the D-line being inconsistent. It's Micah Parsons being inconsistent.
Because he leads that defense. Where he goes, that defense goes.
Like this is the same Micah. I'm seeing the exact same Micah Parsons that I saw pretty much in Dallas, where it's, listen, the last 3 games have been good, but the last 3 games he's faced terrible offensive lines. The Lions are not the same offensive line that they were. I mean, they're still, I shouldn't say terrible, but they're still good, but they've taken a step back. But the Vikings before that and the Giants before that didn't do anything against the Eagles, didn't do anything against the Panthers, didn't do anything against didn't do anything against the Bengals earlier this season. Like, so, not for nothing, but he's not really doing a whole lot against these teams. It's really just been the last 3 weeks he's kind of exploded. But That's Micah Parsons. He has like these 2-3 week explosions and then goes quiet again for like 4 weeks. So like
he goes into hibernation.
Pretty much. Like that's what I'm worried about is what are you going to get out of him come playoff time? We don't know. We haven't seen it. And when we have, which is briefly, it hasn't really been much of anything. And I've said all year that secondary is trash because it is. And you can't survive. Like Tucker Kraft is pretty much their best, because I know he's a tight end, but he's their best receiving option on that entire offense. And I mean, just Josh Jacobs has kind of been inconsistent this year too. I mean, he's been good when he's needed to be, but he's been inconsistent. So like, they don't have, and this is a problem too. No one's saying that they have to have two number one wide receivers, and like no one's saying that they have the roster that the Rams do or or Philly does, but they don't have anything on paper besides a good Jordan Love if he's on, and Josh Jacobs. Other than those two guys, and whatever version of Micah Parsons you get, really, so really you have three guys. Other than that, what do they really have that's going to win them a playoff game or get them on a deep run? Forget Super Bowl, get them on a deep run in the NFC in general. I don't see it. Like, there's no wide receiving core. I don't care what Dontavian Wicks did yesterday. I don't care. That's one off. That guy doesn't make a difference. Christian Watson.
Same with Christian. Same thing.
Like all these guys, they don't catch when it matters the most. They're not really great wide receivers. It's a bunch of wide receiver 2s, 3s, and 4s on an offense that desperately needs a 1. And that 1 is pretty much your tight end. So I don't see how they're going to make a run when you don't. And the thing is, playoff secondaries are gonna lock those receivers up. So I don't see how you're going to win a playoff game against a good secondary, against a secondary that at least is competent. Hell, even a good front four, if they get pressure on Jordan Love, you know what Jordan Love's going to do? Like he does every single, postseason game. He throws off his back foot and throws a pick. That's what he does. Guns kind of like a gunslinger a little bit. So I don't try. I just, every time I look at the Packers, I don't care what their record is. They could be 5-7 at this point and just trying to scratch and claw to get in the playoffs and be a wild card team, or they could be pushing for the division. I don't see any difference in those two versions of Packers teams. They're the same team where it's like, what are you going to do when it matters? Because you haven't done anything when it has mattered. So, like, and it's just, there's too much, like we're all saying, it's too much inconsistency. Like, right now, I mean, what's the schedules? Like let's see here. Let me look real quick. Packers schedule. So when you look at okay, here you go. So now you basically have to win this game against the Bears. You lose this game,
it's gigantic.
You lose this game, the division's probably over because then after that you play the Broncos the week after in Denver. I don't think they win that game against that defense. No. And then you play the Bears again in Chicago. You play the Ravens.
So both of those games are going to matter for the division. Those back-to-back kind of split situations there.
Oh yeah, but I even think if they lose this game next week, I think that division's over. Because the Bears would be 3 games ahead of them essentially, and not just 3 games
Pretty
ahead.
Much.
3 games ahead with 4 left to play. The Bears have to absolutely collapse. So if the Bears beat them,
and there's also Detroit.
Well, yeah. But I'm thinking, but
Detroit's in the mix too.
The Bears. So the Bears, Green Bay, the next, as you said. Browns are not a pushover defensively. San Francisco not a pushover either, and then of course the Lions. It's not easy.
Yeah. Like the Bears pretty much have to stack their wins. Like, they just took down us, but they have to beat the Packers. They basically have to win these next 2 games. If they win these next 2 games, I don't care what happens at the end.
And then really quickly for Detroit, of course, that big game against Dallas, which will be here next Thursday for that one, or Thursday for that one. The Rams, have fun. The Steelers, have fun with that. I mean, their defense isn't amazing, but have fun with that. Vikings, who cares? And then the Bears. So, yikes.
Like, the thing is, like, those teams in that division on any other year, these records would be, this is exactly what we expect out of the NFC North. But all these teams, just like we're saying with a lot of these other teams, but the NFC North, all three of those teams have massive problems. The Packers are inconsistent at best. The Lions don't have a defense at all. There's no defense there except for Aiden Hutchinson. That's about it. But that's it. That's all they have. And then, the Bears don't have a quarterback. I don't know why people are buying into Caleb Williams when he has not had a good season at all. So, the Bears, to me, can they win the division? Yeah, but they don't have a quarterback, so it's not going to matter come playoff time if they don't have a quarterback. He cannot go into a playoff game throwing for 150 yards and a pick and no touchdowns. It's not going to win. So, Caleb Williams, I don't think can win a playoff game. I don't think the Packers are consistent enough to make a deep run. Can they win a playoff game? Yeah, but that's probably it. And the Lions just don't have a defense. I mean, I still think that they're probably the most formidable out of those three teams. But what do the Lions have? I mean, now even offensively now, Amon-Ra is hurt
week to week.
Yeah, he's hurt and he's been inconsistent this year. He's not inconsistent at all. He's had a little dip in production.
Same with J-Mo.
So yeah, their wide receiving core is taking a hit. Their only offense right now, the only reason why they're even getting points on drives is because they're just saying, "Hey, Jahmyr Gibbs, go, just run, go." Like, that's basically their offense. So, like, if they're not throwing checkdowns to Jahmyr Gibbs and letting him take it 50 yards down the field, or letting him just run through a hole for 60 yards for a touchdown, they're not doing anything offensively. So, and of course that's on top of Laporta being out for the year. So, the Lions to me still have enough, I think, collection of, like, I still like them the best offensively, but they're the worst of those three teams defensively. So, or at least I think so. I know the Bears are really bad this year, but the Bears seem to always turn it up when they need to. I don't think the Lions do that. So, that division is just such a mess. Even though the three teams have winning records and good records, not great, but good records. Well, Bears have a great record, but still, like, the Bears have a gauntlet schedule to get through at the end. The Packers, we'll see what happens after Toyotathon. And that's true. And Detroit is just
Detroit is another or multiple weeks of Dan Campbell just absolutely throwing the bin.
I can't believe God. I spent all week roasting him like I do Nick Sirianni. I can't believe I didn't even mention Dan Campbell being an idiot.
Well, the thing is, we mentioned it last week talking about Detroit.
Yeah, and yeah, that really is their biggest problem, is Dan Campbell being a moron. So, like, I don't think any one of those teams can win. Could they win a Super Bowl? Can they make a push to the Super Bowl? Can they make the NFC Championship game? Yeah. I don't think the Bears can. You don't have a quarterback. But Packers, yeah. Lions, yeah. But if your defense shows up, and then, it's the NFC is really quite literally at this point is the Rams and everybody else. That's what the NFC is. I mean, I would love to think it's what's funny? I would love to still think it's us after them, because our schedule is, like, I think the easiest remaining out of all these.
I will say I do still think that.
Like,
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, okay, wait, hold on. So, I like Seattle more than Philly right now.
I would take LA, Seattle, and Chicago all over Philly right now.
I mean, you know what? That's fair, because Chicago just
beat us.
I mean, they just beat them by 2 scores today.
I don't know if I'd take Seattle.
And by the way, Scoop, I don't think you're necessarily wrong about where Philly is. But again, as we just stated, we're pretty out on them making the Super Bowl.
The thing is, schedule-wise helps us, because the Bears have to run it gauntlet.
Not only that, but I'm also thinking this. I'm also thinking playoff experience, right? So I'm thinking, like, just on pure talent alone. Like, I understand the play calling on offense has been terrible. There's no disputing that. I don't. In fact, I think half the locker room would probably agree with that. But when it comes to playoff time, how often have we said experience typically wins out against younger teams? You're gonna trust Caleb. Even if we bake in that Ben Johnson is a better coach than anybody on Philly staff, which I would agree with. Even if we bake that in, just on pure experience alone and on talent alone, I do still consider that a mismatch.
But again, they got a game plan and rotated you guys sideways. They're going to do that again. They're going to run the same game plan. What new things are they going to do?
I just look back to 2023 when I had these same thoughts about Philly. It's like, okay, they had just made it to the Super Bowl last year. They have the experience, and then they were a first-round exit the following season.
The thing is,
not that they're going to be this year, but I'm just
again, and that's not it's. And nothing y'all are saying is unfair.
The thing is, Scoop. It kind of, and I don't like. The issue with putting Philly at 2, as much as I understand it, is it literally just contradicts everything we talked about with Philly an hour ago or 2 hours ago.
Not necessarily, because I'm not saying that I'm still in on Philly as a Super. I'm just saying that that's how little I trust the rest of the NFC.
That's fair. That's fair.
The only shimmer of light in this dark tunnel is the fact that their schedule is the easiest out of all the remaining teams.
Yeah. Brandon, though, you said, and I don't know if it's just fit of rage or if it's kind of honest. I don't think you feel confident about the Chargers on Monday night.
No, yeah, I said they would lose that game. I think Justin Herbert's gonna slap them silly, but the game against the Raiders you should win. So it's like I'm thinking about it this way: like if you end up because I don't think the Bears are gonna win many more games with that schedule. I think they can win like 2 more. I don't think they can win more than that. I don't see it. Like that schedule is really rough on Chicago the rest of the season. The Rams, it's a somewhat easy schedule, but it's not that easy. Like our 2 tough games left are really Bills and Chargers.
I'm gonna throw out.
I may bring something up.
Yeah, sorry. Please go, Scoop.
Well, just because you mentioned the fact that we just got manhandled by Chicago, which again, that's a fact. But if you look at the other teams, we're looking at the top here at the NFC, the Packers, we've beaten them. The Rams, we've beaten them. So I'm just saying not.
Actually, it wasn't early enough because we beat the Packers a few weeks ago, so I can't even make that claim. Yeah.
Beat the Lions too. So.
Yeah. The thing is, and oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought.
And that's what's the weird thing is like the games we should have won the most easily, the ones where we've gotten killed.
Yeah, the ones because we've beaten ourselves. That's like
that's the most ridiculous part of it. Is that some of the best.
I'm not changing it. I still know that I still know this team can't win a Super Bowl. I'm still out on that. This offense is finished. I don't care. But I'm just saying that the only thing they have going for them left is the schedule, because the schedule is easy.
But I think that also ties into what I think as what they have going for them is just the fact, like we just said, the NFC is kind of just a cesspool of mid. Like it's literally
the reality with the Eagles, and the more I think about it, the more I feel this way. It's really tough, but I hate to say it, but I think it's a higher possibility, and Brandon has talked about this too in his own time. The thing is, oh my god, losing to the Raiders by 3 is kind of a real thing.
It's a possibility. Yeah, I've said that.
It's a real thing. It just is. Do I think it's going to happen? Absolutely not. But it's a real thing. It just is.
Let me say this: if the Eagles lose to a team that just fired as OC the most notoriously reviled coach in recent memory for the Eagles in firing Chip Kelly, that Kevin Patullo should not be allowed to ever wear a piece of clothing that is midnight green ever again.
Well,
and by the way, I will say this as well. if you guys lose to the Raiders in any capacity, any way, anyhow, doesn't matter. People are going to be saying Nick Sirianni should go.
Yeah, and he absolutely should at that point.
It's Philly. It's Philly. People started saying that when we lost our first game of the season.
But you know what's
but it's different because it's the Raiders.
You know what? You know why we could lose that game? Look at what Monangai and Swift just did to that defense. What do you think Ashton Genty's going to do?
Well, I mean, their offensive line is terrible.
Yeah. I was just going to say that
their offensive line not good.
Bears is definitely better than Las Vegas.
But I'm saying, like that could be the game where we do give up.
I also would say I definitely trust Ben Johnson and respect Ben Johnson more than any coach on the Raiders staff.
Well, yeah, so do
including Pete Carroll. I'm sorry.
I just think that. I mean, I'm also worried about who the hell's going to cover Brock Bowers because we also haven't covered tight ends well at all this year. So, like,
and I just want to emphasize this is not like I'm super more optimistic about Philly than most people.
No,
this is literally just
NFC pessimism.
It's the Rams. It's the Rams in the field, basically, is the way that I can say it.
And the thing I'll say about the Rams in the field thing, because I was having this conversation at Thanksgiving, because some of my friends were asking me, they're like, "What is the?" They're like, what is the NFL right now? Who are the contenders? Who this and that? And I was like,
contender in the NFC. Contender.
Well, hold on. Well, hold on a second. The thing that I said, and I still kind of believe this, as good as the Rams are, they could lose. They could lose. They really could. Yeah, you know what I mean?
We don't trust that secondary. That secondary is garbage.
It's not like it is a wide gap, but it's thin. All right, let's finish up by talking about the legendary coach, John Madden. We're going to do this every year, as of course when we think of Thanksgiving, not only are we thankful for our group here, those of you listening, friends, family, food, and football. We are, as football fans, incredibly thankful for John Madden and his impact. Scoop, I'm going to let you go first since you are the newest of the group. What does John Madden mean to you?
Yeah, so I think of when you talk about John Madden. Not only, and you can look at him in so many different capacities, whether it's as the coach, whether it's in the booth with Pat Summerall, who I think obviously those names are going to forever be intertwined. And then of course his legacy with we talk about the video game and all of that, but I do think that that's a very real thing to bring up because it helps really integrate people into following football. I definitely know a lot more about. I know I joke all the time about how I'm very illiterate with X's and O's. I certainly know a hell of a lot more than I would have if not for Madden. So that definitely was an element to it as well. And obviously there's the very, very small element of the fact that he did play briefly in on the practice squad for Philly in 1959. But so there's all these different components to his career, and just
I learned about that through the Madden video game.
Yeah, and he had his own card, I think, too.
It was the year he had his card.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait, why is there a Philly logo on this? Oh,
yeah. But just again, thinking of the fact that how many more ways are there to who can say they've impacted a sport or a league more than John Madden? As very briefly, yes, a player, a coach, an announcer, a branding of one of the most notable sports games ever. It's
literally every year. It's Call of Duty, Madden.
It's one of the most marketable franchises ever.
Yeah, and it's
in America. Yeah,
and this is not to turn into an EA Sports thing, but for a game.
I'm not. It would be disrespectful to talk about what the hell they've done with that franchise.
Well, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because to be the face of something that even with controversy, people still, without even questioning it, will go out and buy it. that's how you know that something got so solidified, and it originated with him. So
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the one thing I will say about the EA Sports deal is, if we ever live in a world without Madden NFL, some branding of the video game from some company, something is terribly wrong with video games. It just is. It just is. Yeah. If we ever get to that point, which honestly, when we get to that next deal, it might. That's going to be sad when we get that next deal in 2028 or whenever it is.
I have no idea. Apparently, they came closer to it this year than I realized in terms of not having the license. But I only found out
they were going to have. There were discussions of a non-exclusive license. By the way, the NFLPA also has a separate licensing agreement that with EA that might hurt things for Madden in the next.
I don't know anything about that.
So they're risking a potential if the players aren't happy, which a lot of players aren't actually happy with the game, to not even have the licensing of the players. I think that's 2028, and then the licensing agreement is like 2030-ish. Anyway, Scoop, please continue.
Yeah. So, but anyway, like I said, guy was a Super Bowl winning coach. He got a dozen Emmy Awards, maybe more. Excuse me. And just impacted the game in so many different ways, more than most people could ever say they've impacted a sport. And there are certain teams or leagues or sports or whatever where there's just a name that is just synonymous with that sport and became synonymous with that sport or that league. And I think it's hard to think of a person whose name is more synonymous with general American football than John Madden. And, just an incredible life well lived. And again, also to say nothing of the dynasty team that he created with Pat Summerall for so long. Of course, the legacy of things like Turducken are always going to be things that live on in his legacy.
I learned about the Turducken thing last year, and boy, do I want to try it.
I learned about it. Guess how I learned about it? Because a couple of years ago in Madden, there was a question and answer interview thing, and I got the question wrong. And the correct answer was turducken. That is how I learned about it. No joke. It was. There's simultaneously not much more I can say, and yet I could talk all night. At the same time, I could talk all night. But
my dad has always said his concern with the turducken is how they cook it, which I've thought a lot about cooking that.
Anytime you put turkey and duck and chicken at the same time, I can understand where the issue is. I also happen to love all three of those things, so I don't know. Maybe I'll be the guinea pig for this group. But
also, duck is trust me. Whenever we get our own studio, I'll make a turducken and just have it in the background of a show.
Duck is pretty damn good.
Duck is really good. Duck legs.
I don't like duck.
Really? Interesting. There's a place back.
I don't like water birds like duck or geese or whatever.
Water birds. So you don't like fish either?
No, birds.
Oh, well, I said birds. Holy crap!
So you don't like what a Seahawk is? Which is
I've never had one, but I would imagine, yeah.
I got to tell you a funny story about Seahawk later on, but
what about it? How it's called an osprey or whatever?
I don't even know. No, about the fact that I was riding in the car with my dad once. When we were near a beach, and I meant to say there's a seagull, and I said there's a Seahawk.
That's funny. All right.
But, again, rest in peace to John Madden, and thank you to him, and obviously also to his partner, longtime Pat Summerall, just for the many ways that he forever transformed and evolved what we know as both football and the NFL.
Yeah. All right, Shane. The impact John Madden's held in your footballing life.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the first coaches where he is he really connected with the players and never acted like he was bigger than the game. You know, he was always having a good time, and very much made it fun, not like some corporate thing. You know, he had like that old school tough mentality mixed with kind of just the joy of the game. You know, and because he never cared about brands or, you know, looking cool or whatever. He was about, you know, tackling, blocking, the, you know, big linemen, funny stories, just the heart of the game, right? And that's the thing. I mean, he was so much more than just a player. He was an iconic coach. He was a teacher in many ways, you know, teacher of the game, and a historian of the game for sure, and a great entertainer. Like he was, you know, like Scoop was saying, I mean, he not only was the Super Bowl champion, but he was like an Emmy winner and all that. I mean, it's just, you know, it was kind of like if there was something with football, he was like, no matter what, he's like, oh yeah, I can do it, you know. And he's a great guy too. Yeah, I mean, he was my grandpa was friends with him, and
you have a signed Madden 11 copy on the Wii somehow, which is hilarious. Of Madden 11.
It was the John first. Madden. Was it the first one or the second one? Maybe. My grandpa just casually was like, "Oh yeah, he'll sign a copy of the game for you," and I was like, "Really?" Because he was just that guy, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll sign this and mail it for my friend," you know, and yeah, it's in the other. I'd have to go get it, but
it's the Wii copy, right?
Yeah, Madden 11.
That's so awesome that it's the Wii copy. I love that.
That's so cool. That's actually the first game I ever got for Madden.
And that was Drew Brees' cover.
I believe that was mine as well. Mine was 04, but on the Wii, actually no, on the Wii, mine was Madden 10. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think 10 was my first, and then 11.
We all cool because we all played Madden on the Wii. We all did.
Right. Yeah. It was cool though because it was like.
Maybe they should still make that. It was the last time it was like a game that people weren't fighting about.
Yeah.
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 But because
Madden on the Wii was just Madden on the Wii was just really creative. Just a creative, fun game.
Yeah. But Brees was on that cover, and you know he's probably my favorite quarterback of all time.
We have to eventually get Drew Brees to sign that copy for you.
So like having it's just cool. But yeah, so you know, I never met him, but you know, I obviously I heard stories and from my grandpa just about the kind of guy he was, and he is exactly who you would expect, just based on what you see in TV, and you know. So yeah, just I'll always be grateful for the just the lessons and the memories and things that you know he did for the game.
Yeah. All right, Brandon. What say you? What does he mean to your footballing life?
Well, I think there's two things. I think, well, obviously we know that he is, you know, the face of football. But for me, I mean, it really is, you know, two things. You know, we got to realize that there's a whole, you know, generation of Raiders fans and you know, football fans that got into football because of how good the Raiders were back in the day when they were led by him. So, as a coach, there's so many coaches you talk about. You talk about Lombardi, Landry, Chuck Noll, like all these different guys, right? But you can't, the big four, you got three. You can't leave out John Madden. So, out of all those guys, I mean, those are all legendary coaches that helped shape the game to what it is today. And, you can't go anywhere without, you really can't understand the game of football without, talking about those guys. And I think about kind of that standpoint of how John Madden made the game so much bigger, especially after stepping. He's a guy that. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris Collinsworth. Now here's a guy. But
who replaced Madden on SNF? Was it originally Collinsworth?
It was Collinsworth.
Yeah.
But seriously though, John Madden is a guy where, he went straight from coaching straight to the commentary booth. It wasn't like he took a couple of years off or got into being an analyst first, whatever it was. No, it wasn't. No, straight from coaching right to the booth, and was great at it. Like people don't realize how hard it is to do just to switch gears like on a dime like that, just to go from one thing to another. So it's like we were all saying tonight. That was a guy that anything football related, he was there. Like he was the ambassador for football, pretty much. So So I thank him for that because without him, football would not be nowhere near what it is today. But in terms of my football life, we got to remember one thing: there's a whole generation of not just kids, adults right now who are a little bit younger than we are, like college age, or 18, 19 years old even, where they never got to hear John Madden on TV. I did. I grew up. Some of my first.
Thank God I did, because for me it was right towards the tail end of his career. Yep. I got lucky to be able to listen to John Madden.
We didn't grow. It stinks. We didn't get to hear. They were still commentating when we were born. Madden and Summerall, but they split up, and then it became Madden and Michaels. And Madden and Michaels are the first commentators that we heard growing up. When I think about all the guys that were the reasons I got into sports and sports journalism and sports broadcasting, all these different things, one of them was John Madden. John Madden literally, you don't forget when you hear distinct voices on TV growing up as a kid. You don't forget, the things that shape who you are growing up, the formative years. And my formative years were spent literally, and why I love sports so much, were spent in front of my TV, watching all my favorite teams, watching these leagues, 6, 7, 8 years old. And those were the first voices I heard. It was like hearing, for hockey, it was like hearing Doc Emmerich, or
Doc Emmerich,
or for, especially because he was Devils commentator at the time too. So I got him twofold. I got him for Devils games. I got him for after Devils games. But for
NBC,
But for football, it was John Madden. Madden and Michaels, but John Madden, that was, hearing his voice come through my TV, watching Sunday Night Football, having him use, the telestrator to diagram plays, which was something that people don't realize. He was pretty much the guy that started all that.
Yeah.
So, that burnt into my brain from a young age and made me love this sport and love and want to be in this field. So John Madden, I feel bad for the kids who are a little bit younger than us and younger that didn't get to at least hear him, because we did. And it's really tough to think about that there's a generation that didn't hear him. It's like trying to explain to people that there was a generation that never got to see Derek Jeter play. Like, it's like you never got to see one of the greatest players at any position to play the game. It's like the same thing with John Madden. You never got to see one of the greatest people in football history ever be around the game. You never saw it. You just people. It's crazy. If you walk up to a 15-year-old these days, I guarantee you they don't know John Madden except for the fact he's on that it's the video game. Yeah. And that's, I mean, listen, that's a good impact to have. He's always remembered for that, get royalties from that, whatever it is. But it's sad that generation, right after us right now, they don't know who John Madden is. And John Madden is the whole reason why football is pretty much as big as it is today. Why football is where it is, and why people that are around our age and older wanted to be, in this field. So John Madden, every time I even think of it, it's funny. Thanksgiving, I do think about my family. I think about having Thanksgiving dinner and being around, my loved ones, and it's the holiday season. But I do think football is synonymous with Thanksgiving, and what's synonymous with football and Thanksgiving? John Madden. So it's, I can't think of a better week in football. And we always say every year, Thanksgiving week is probably the best week in football, because that's when you start really knowing who the top dogs are in the game, and you start feeling like football has really come around compared to the first 2 months. So John Madden, the legacy that he leaves behind, and the legacy that's going to continue forever. Like, I really hope that his legacy doesn't die in this sport, because
you cannot tell the story of football period without him.
No. And the NFL, they always say, like, to understand where you're going, you have to understand the past. And you can't talk about the past without talking about John Madden. So it's a wonderful legacy to leave behind. It's there's a lot of pride there. There's a lot of just a lot to look back on and now for his family that's he's survived by, that it's, they can look back and be proud of the man that has given so much for not just them, but for communities everywhere, for the game itself. It's the impact's larger than life. We can talk about it all night, but John Madden is one of the greatest people in sports history, for good reason.
Yeah. So one, I didn't really know about Pat Summerall until he passed away, and then getting to go back and listen to both of them, because obviously we didn't get the chance. This reminds me, probably the first in the off season, the first rewatch we need to do. I don't think the game is great from a scoring or not a scoring standpoint in terms of competitiveness. I don't think it's that good from memory. But we should do Vikings Cowboys with Madden and Summerall on the call when Randy Moss just went ape shit, because it's probably the best. It's probably the broadcast they're most synonymous for, as expected.
Can we do that? Because actually, y'all were talking about this. I actually didn't get to hear in real time John Madden I started following football the year after he retired.
Yeah. So was your first? I don't know if you were there when we did Steelers Cardinals. Were you? Because that was Madden and Michaels.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So yeah, we're gonna. The thing is, we have to do that one for Summerall and Madden for the off season. I will also say this: the two most saddest retirees of my life were in broadcasting were Madden, and I was really sad when Al Michaels decides to retire, which I know is going to come up here in the next couple of years. I'm probably going to bawl my eyes out.
Oh, I'm going to be so sad.
I'm probably going to bawl my eyes out on the show because of just how good. He's the one guy that I'm like, and that's the thing when that happens, I have no idea who's going to replace him and Herb Street. Like, when that stops being a thing and someone else replaces him, or maybe Herb Street says I'm not going to do it anymore because he's doing college. Whenever TNF has to make a replacement in that booth, oh my god, it's going to be so sad.
So we're done. So I mean, after him, we're only down to 3 guys left from our childhood, I think, right? Buck, Aikman, and Collinsworth.
Yeah, pretty much.
So and that's it. Yeah. And everybody else is basically new.
Is new. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm gonna literally bawl my eyes out on this show when he retires. But and like as much flack as people give Michaels and Herb Street, oh, they're such a joy to listen to.
They are good together. Yeah,
they're such a joy. But again, going on Madden. So my history with football or sports in general is really weird. It's very unorthodox because I never played. You're right. Like I have cerebral palsy. It's very mild. Never really could play. Right. So my story really like and my parents are Armenian. They came in 2000. They, football was like American football. Wasn't really a thing. The real thing of why I got into football is my dad would just have the Seahawks game on, right? But then when I wish I still had the box. I'm so pissed that I don't have the box. But I got it was like a church thing, I think, or something. Like Christmas time. I got the EA Sports 2004 every single game, right? So live NASCAR Thunder never worked on mine. It never worked on my computer. For some reason, that one never worked. So I played 03. PGA Tour, NHL, right? Like, so I got the whole thing.
Group of games.
Oh my God, so good. Probably the best ever in terms of a pack of games for EA Sports.
Oh yeah.
But Madden NFL 04. And I didn't, again, I was so young, I didn't even know how nuts Michael Vick was in that game. So I, you know what I did? Some of it was influenced by Shane too when we were young, but I had a fantasy draft with the Seahawks. I would just do one season and keep redoing it. I did this in the NHL with the Canucks. And Brandon, you're going to love this. My first pick was always Martin Brodeur every time. As my goalkeeper. But the first guy I would pick in Madden as my first overall pick was Drew Brees. So I would always have Drew in 04, which is still really good. But yeah,
wonder where you got that
again,
thought.
A lot of yeah, that was Shane. That was Shane. I always took Brees. I got my
wish list for the Seahawks.
And then I knew about Vic later, and one of my friends who I play fantasy football with now, he's or not like I actually play Madden with that group of people, but he brought over his PS2, and I got to see it like Michael Vick just be a fucking dick to my defense, and it's just the nastiest thing ever. Lol, it's true though. I'm being honest.
I know that's
what it was.
I know it's just funny to me. That's all.
Is that David?
Yeah. No, it's not. It's Mason, or one of our buddies.
Yeah.
Yes. Who shout out to him. I play Madden with him and his boys. But yeah. So that was my exposure, was Al Michaels and John Madden in 04, and that's really why I'm here today talking to you guys talking about football. It's that video game. But the two things as I grew older and learned, I still haven't watched the Amazon documentary on the video game. I need to, but anyway,
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, it's really good from what I've heard. But two things I always loved about John Madden, or in general. Number one, at the time, because technology wasn't there, any football game that was made was 5v5. And John Madden said, like, the former like EA exec, they did like a 30 for 30 audio on John Madden or something on the video game. And they were like, well, we went to his cruiser. It was a train or something, because he never flew. He was always scared of flying.
Yeah.
And they were like giving him this pitch about the video game that would eventually become Madden. He's like, we're gonna do 5v5 and whatever. He's like, stop. I am not going to endorse this video game if you don't do 11 on 11. I love that. It not only set the standard for what football games would become nowadays. Not just Madden, but college football, maximum football, whatever, any football game. And then the other piece of it was just like the Madden cruiser and him just, driving everywhere. I think that was awesome.
Yeah.
But then also with Madden, which is honestly probably the most sad part about Madden currently, because it was like this when we were kids, until like, I would say, well, after Jim Nantz and Phil Simms stopped doing it, which I think was 17, I think,
around
when Charles Davis and Brandon Gaudin got in the booth, who I like enough. Yeah,
I'm a big Brandon Gaudin fan.
Yeah, he's great. I think they're a great duo. I wish they could do NFL games together. I've always said that, like real actual NFL games. And obviously they have Tirico and Olsen and and Kate Scott and Brock Hewitt now. Anyway, so they've tried their best, but like something that I miss a lot, and this was Madden's big thing with the video game, is that he wanted it to look just like you were on television. And we've lost that for Madden. He tells this story of the head at Fox at the time when he was with Summerall a few years into it. The story that Madden says is the executive came up to him and went, "We want to like be a part of the video game. Like we want like some of Fox to be integrated into the game." And he was like, "That's what I've been waiting for my whole life with this video game." And so I just love that. And so that's probably for all the issues that we have with Madden, it's so full. I think the thing that I'm frustrated with the most because of what Madden said is just the TV broadcast aspect of it has been severely hurt over the last few years. And I think the developers honestly would probably agree in certain respects as well, because obviously a lot of it comes from the top and not the developers working on the game, because the developers working on the game do want a lot of the stuff that we've been asking for years. But no, I just think that with Madden, like the game is always going to be the thing, but him as a coach learning about that, and then the telestrator, the turducken, just the energy, and as Shane has said, I've heard other people say this as well. It's like Madden was the first guy ever in broadcasting when it comes to football, really, to make it accessible.
Yeah.
To just feel like, and like I think we've all said in some ways, it's a more accessible game now than ever because of everything that's happened with it. Red Zone obviously being an evolution of that. But without John Madden, I don't think you get to the point where broadcasting NFL games is today, and like just the accessibility of just accessing football. Think back to those. I mean, obviously, it's Monday Night Football was the big one, right? And then it kind of moved beyond that. But we're not at the point we are with even Amazon, Netflix getting involved, which we can say whatever we want with that. Just the evolution of the sport from a broadcasting standpoint at every level. We're not where we are in 2025 with these new television deals without Madden. It starts back with him and how he viewed the television broadcast. So yeah, that's what I got to say on that. Thank you guys for your words there. Hey, I'm glad the NFL has done this. This is how we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving moving forward is John Madden. So we're thankful for you all listening. Obviously thankful to my crew here, Brandon, Shane, Scoop, and myself. Thank you all for joining us on this holiday. Thank you all for being here, of course. And we'll see you on Sunday. Presumably not at the final whistle of the Broncos game, considering how bad that will be. But we'll find out. Either way, we'll see you on Sunday night. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Have a good one, y'all.
Take care, everybody.